The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about. Yes,
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, December 22nd, 2020, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are potentially dead. Last night on Muppet Night Football on ESPN. What a crock of shit that was. The worst fucking television I've ever seen in my entire goddamn life. Yep. I don't know how that gets okayed. Maybe the Muppets are coming out with a new album. What a shit show over on the Worldwide Leader. But nonetheless, it couldn't have been worse than the way the Pittsburgh Steelers played. Last night, they lose to the Bangles and a guy named Ryan Gilbert starting for the Cincinnati Bengals. Ryan Finley, by the way, might be a dude. He had moxie. He threw, and that 24-yard scamper to end the whole goddamn thing was nothing short of impressive. Zach Taylor proves that he can win a game. Well, the Pittsburgh Steelers ever proved that they can win another one. To talk more about that, we got diehard Pittsburgh Steelers fan at Tone Diggs, who is dreading this morning. We saw it all morning. We saw the text messages last night. I FaceTimed him while he was putting together a table. I said, there's no way the Steelers lose tonight. This could be a sign of really troubled times. The Pittsburgh Steelers lose their third straight game after going 11-0 at Tone Diggs. State of the Pittsburgh Steelers fan base, how you feeling?
Sure. They look bad.
Bad at football. They look bad at football.
They look really, really bad.
It's unbelievable that team won 11 games now that we're thinking about it. Did they? Now, the early bye week, okay, the COVID rescheduling, the everything, they had a lot of odds stacked against them.
Yeah.
Okay? Mike Tomlin, maybe one of the best coaches in the history of football. If you look at his actual record, people are calling for his head yet again in the Steelers fan base. But that team looks like a shell of itself. He's dancing on logos still. Chase Claypool's recording it. He gets knocked out. If they win there, by the way, what a big game for Juju after dancing on the logo and them losing. Everything seems to be in disarray over there, Diggs. What do you got to say for the future of the Pittsburgh Steelers right now? Because, by the way, if you look at the playoff projections, if they win, they're in. They're going to be in the playoffs. They're going to get in the dance. Are they going to embarrass themselves?
Yeah, they're in. Some are saying Ben's arm looks like a noodle. It could be from lack of giving up porn. Maybe he doesn't. He's not getting the same reps during the week that he normally gets.
Those are working out the little muscles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The
like
quick twitch muscles.
The little muscles that you don't think, because when you rehab something, they worry about all the little muscles that are the stabilizing muscles. You know, like whenever I get my knee surgery and then I go back to rehab, they're working out the little tiny muscles in the thing around the quad and the calf and everything like that in the outside of the shin. Maybe it is because Ben found the Lord so heavily that the little muscles in his arm are no longer there, and it looks bad. You know, we went after Drew Brees just 2 days ago.
Yeah.
It looks bad, that Pittsburgh Steelers offense.
And some may say it's a bad thing that the fourth safety, who was now starting linebacker, got hurt, and some other things. But, I mean, there were some good things last night, Pat. There was a lot of good things. Ebron's gone, so we don't have to worry about him anymore.
Hey, that you can't like that. You can't do that. He got injured, obviously.
No, he's fine. There's a tweet that just came out. He's fine.
Oh, okay.
But the Steelers found out that they're better without him. Is what I was saying.
Whoa.
Last night?
Yeah. Vance came in, that they started running the ball. Benny Snell, 5 yards to carry.
So Ebron's fine? I didn't see this tweet.
Yeah, it just came out right before the show. Trust me, that line
So
was
it was
not
a Paul
coming out of my
Pierce
mouth
thing?
before.
No organ damage, thank God.
So this was a Paul Pierce situation? Because he got carted off, right?
Yeah.
They had to zoom in on a sky cam on his, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
He
it looked like he was half laughing.
Is he okay? No, he looked like he was in pain.
It just came out. I just saw the tweet. I promise you.
Okay, if Ebron's back, then the Steelers will be back.
Yeah, they're back.
If Ebron's going to be back, the Steelers will be back.
Hopefully, Juju got some sense knocked into him for the second game in a row. Teams were talking about how they were using it as motivation, and he caught the ball, and then he fumbled the ball like he did the last couple years of season away.
I love how the tweet goes, he should be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, who's that from? A doctor?
Just pro football talk. Like he should
Florio.
Be,
should be
yeah,
okay.
he should be okay.
By the way, Florio's not held to the standards of medical journalism. You know what I mean? Like that is 100% cool, and we will run with Florio saying he should be okay. By the way, good news for Steelers if Ebron's back. He should. Eric Ebron should be okay for Sunday's game.
Oh, yeah.
Short week, by the way, should be okay. Now, not good for Diggs and Steelers fans, it sounds like, but he should be okay.
They always lose to bad teams. We talked about it. We talked how they were 2-11 against teams on when they're double-digit favorites on the road. That's good news. The last 11 team that was 11-0, and then at some point in the season lost 3 games in a row, went to the Super Bowl, won the Super Bowl, and the Saints.
Oh, yeah, they beat us that year.
Why would you bring that up?
Because good odds there, like good way to spin stats. You know what I mean? Like a good way to spin stats would be like, there was a team that won 14 games straight, and then they lost the last 2 in pretty bad fashion to the Jets and to the Bills at the time whenever they were the Bills, and that would be the team that I was on that went to the Super Bowl and lost to the Saints. But that's a very different team, I think, than what we're seeing with the Steelers. Don't you think? Is it hard to, or you're comparing those exact situations?
Those exact situations, because Drew Brees back then still had his noodle arm. I mean, he was just
Tony.
They lost to a 3-13 Bucks in Week 15. They weren't trying to do that.
And Drew Brees was trying to win that game.
Correct.
Because home field advantage in the NFC was still on up for grabs. 3-13 Bucks in the division, very similar to the Cincinnati Bengals game. Okay, go on. What was the next game?
They lost to the Cowboys the first game, then the Bucks, and then the third game. Drew Brees sat out. They were resting him.
Oh, so that was the 3 straight games that they lost without their quarterback the one time. Okay, they had the kicker Garrett Hartley playing quarterback for him.
Actually, it was Mark Brunell.
Oh, wow. That was after he bought into the floating furniture deal.
Yeah,
that's awesome. That's
but by far the most important win last night for the Steelers is the fucking stooge, jinx, curse, Evan Fox is no longer a Steelers.
Yeah, at Evan Foxy,
has
it been official? Since they lost last night, you have said that if this team loses one more game, you're done being a fan. Is it official this morning?
I have a lot of thinking to do. Let me put it that way.
Oh, okay.
You know what? I'm pissed off.
Why?
My whole life, I've been a Detroit Lions fan.
Yeah.
All right, and it's been miserable. I watched them go 0-16.
Oh, yeah.
I watched them ruin draft picks, fire coaches, and in my 26 years, I've never seen them win a playoff game. So I decided this year, I'm going to pick the hottest team in the league, right?
Yep.
The most storied franchise in the league in the Pittsburgh Steelers.
6 Super Bowl rings. They have been to the playoffs before.
And you know what? I thought it was a good choice. And then, lo and behold, right when I become a fan, everyone said, Foxy's a curse. That team just stinks. That's all it is. That team's terrible.
You don't think it's because of you?
No, absolutely. This isn't Harry Potter. I've said it before. There's no curses out there. That's just a bad football team. The city of Pittsburgh is going to have to understand that. Otherwise, it's going to be a rude awakening come playoff.
Now, we did talk about this last night. You have paid your dues to Pittsburgh, too. Every single time you go into the Three Rivers City, you go right down to Rivers Casino, and you donate $300, $400, $500 immediately upon arrival, tipping the gangster in the middle of the city like you're supposed to do. You've spent hours in bars and restaurants around the city of Pittsburgh. You've tipped well. You have been a guy who has dedicated yourself to Pittsburgh within the last year, and now you're dedicated to your fan. It's what, a lost cause? Is that what you're saying at this point, Foxy?
I just can't believe this is how the team repays me. I cannot believe that this is what the Steelers put on that field last night and lose to the Cincinnati Bangles.
Unbelievable. They lost to the Bengals. Foxy, while you're back there, if you could cue up some things that people were saying about you on the internet, that'd be fantastic. At Boston Connors here, the Patriots are officially out. We'll talk to Tom E. Curran in the second hour. Can't wait. He told us before the season that the team stunk, and then he actually said he wanted to cradle your face. Ty Schmidt's here. We'll be talking to Aaron Rodgers, third hour. Cannot wait to chat with him. It's going to be a little bit shorter chat today because they are working today because they're off on Christmas. So we'll have to hammer some great questions to him. What happens in the second half? I am going to ask.
Yeah, I'd like to know.
What's that bobblehead in front of you right there?
Oh, yeah. It's supposed to be me as Mad Mel.
Whoa. So let's make sure we never get a bobblehead from this person. But
some guy made it.
Very nice of him. Yeah. Very nice. I mean, it's terrible, but it's very, very nice of him. The Mad Mel does deserve to have its own goddamn. So I appreciate the person. Was this the same person who sent the Oreos?
No. My lady actually got this for me. Some guy just made it, and then
okay. All right. Well, if it was the same guy that sent the Oreos, I was about to take everything back. I thought that was Kornacki.
Oh, really?
I thought that was potentially Kornacki over
Put
there.
a smart board in front of it. It is Kornacki.
Maybe have him send another piece. It could be Kornacki.
Mad Mel, though, was one of the most legendary moments I've ever seen in my entire life. Mad Mel probably have a lot to say about what's going on with the Packers in the second goddamn half. Can't wait to chat with Aaron about that. Congrats on the thing.
Thank you.
That's not a bobblehead. What is it? A bobblehead?
No, it is.
I wish the hair. I wish the hair would have went.
When I first saw it, I said if we could somehow poof that hair out a little bit more. But
For those that are listening, Ty Schmidt has a doll that just showed up on his desk, and I had no idea. Like, that's just something that you notice whenever there's a little human standing in front of Ty there. F. Evil Lazito's here with a poll. What does your poll say?
Are the Steelers dead? No, 14.8%, and yes, 85.2%.
Over 1,000 votes. And the reason why they're dead, everybody's saying, is the Fox, Evan Fox. And Fox knows he's already penetrated the Steelers building. I mean, the Fox curse has already been there. But the city of Pittsburgh is fed up with Fox. And the tweets that were being sent last night to Evan Fox were just absolutely legendary. From Frank Cross at I Play With Trucks. This guy will stomp a mud hole in your ass, by the way. I play with trucks. What do you think he does with trucks? Whatever it is, it's tougher than whatever you do.
I don't want to know.
He said you're the Adam Cole of PMI. That is true. You stink.
That's a little low, all right? I'm not that much of a scumbag to be Adam Cole.
True, and if you move your fan base on to somewhere else, I assume Frank Cross, who plays with trucks, will come back around. What's another one that was sent about you? At Clarence Theodore the Fourth. So there's been 3 other Clarence Theodores. I assume they've all accomplished great things. Let's keep the name going. You and Nick Moraldo need to beat Foxy back to Michigan tomorrow, he says to Tone Diggs. Go ahead and beat his ass, Tone.
A lot of these had a similar thing where they all wanted pain inflicted on Foxy.
Foxy, what's another one that you got last night? It was awesome. Tone Diggs might actually kill Evan Foxy tomorrow on the show, but to be honest, that'd be more fight than the Steelers have shown in 3 weeks.
Holy shit!
That's a good tweet. Is that right, Foxy?
Good point.
That's from Russell Jensen at rjensen1990. That kid's only 30 years old. He's talking that type of shit to you, Tone. What else is next? At Brian _ Cross says everyone hates you, Evan Fox. And that's kind of where we'll leave it. Everyone hates Evan Fox in Pittsburgh, but they can't blame Evan Fox.
No.
The offense is terrible. That's a bad offense.
Yeah.
And they showed old Ben sitting next to Randy Fichtner and everything like that. And I don't know if they were talking or what they were trying to figure out. It's just a terrible offense. Why is it so bad? The run game started going a little bit.
It did.
Hey, Benny Snell scored at Nick Morado. What do you got?
Pat, have you ever seen a team go 11-0 and not one rumor, not one whisper, not one sound of their offensive coordinator getting a sniff of a job anywhere else?
True, yeah. Nobody was talking about Randy Fichtner potentially getting a head coaching gig. But that also, we talked to Field Yates yesterday, Vanderfield Yates, Mr. Vanderfield Yates. And he told us, basically, I bullied him into saying it, basically. Unless Randy Fichtner's agent is going to push that he's going to be a head coach, you're probably not going to hear that he's going to be a head coach. But you will hear some pundits potentially say, like, for instance, Buffalo Bills offense coordinator probably going to get some looks. Like they start those conversations. Nobody has done that with old Randy Fichtner.
He's just a stooge there to placate Ben. He's a pawn. That's all it is. He stinks.
Yeah, but Tomlin.
And now Ben stinks too.
Yeah,
So-
but how does Tomlin feel about that? Because Tomlin doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like Tomlin's the type of guy that's just going to sit there and be like, yeah, you know what, Randy, just keep fucking burying this franchise. That feels like something Tomlin will end up changing. What don't you think? I mean,
There was a point last night where I wish that there was not masks because Tomlin was next to Randy, and you could see in his eyes like he was mad. But I really wanted to see the words coming out of his mouth. But then, like, as far Ben's trying to get some balls in during warm-ups, and Claypool and Juju are frolicking around the field for TikTok.
So this is why Juju should know that any tweet you put out, any TikTok you put out, you automatically are just building up ammo for people to blame you for everybody else's faults. Do we think it was Juju's fault last night they lost last night?
No.
Do you think Vaughn hits him less hard if he doesn't dance on the logo?
No.
Maybe. Hey, maybe. Hey, we don't know.
Might be looking for
Hey,
him.
we don't know. No, but I would assume he still hits him. But it is. Last night was a shit show for. I mean, and then the Cincinnati Bengals chopping him on the Steelers face. I mean, he did the Juju dance. Vaughn knocks it out from Pittsburgh TikTok star, and then they don't even add ESPN. By the way, they just go watch on ESPN. They're probably fed up with the fucking Muppet bullshit too. If I had to guess, what was that?
Who knows?
I mean, I know that I missed a lot of things in my childhood with Disney movies and all that. I never watched the Muppets. I don't even know how did that get How does that get incorporated into Monday Night Football in the AFC North?
My guess is they saw the tweets last week about the Nickelodeon game being streamed, the slime and SpongeBob and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, that's a sweet idea. Let's do something like that."
No way.
Bingo Muppets. Yes.
Do the Muppets exist still? Like, do they have a movie coming out? Is there an album coming out? They had some bars there before the game. I heard old Buddy spitting some bars with the beard. The guy, it was like a rendition of Monday Night Football, the game, but in a Christmas jingle. I don't know if you guys heard it. It was bars. Like, it was pretty good. I thought this, but they came back, by the way. Commercial break, halftime, third quarter. Did the Muppets just pay an incredible amount of money to get on this thing?
Yeah, I got it's called the Meta Masterpiece. They're releasing, and it's coming out on Christmas Day.
Muppets.
So they must have dropped a lot of money for this.
Yeah, but how come they didn't say that ever?
Did they even feature Bill and Ernie up in the?
Oh yeah, the olds were referenced. The olds are referenced a couple times. They got a couple little spotlights, but the Muppets have a movie. This is why they did it, so we would do
Christmas
this.
Carol. Yeah, so we're doing what they want us to do. I feel
No, but it's owned by Disney, right? So everybody's going to watch it anyways.
That is a good point, though. They didn't mention that.
Not once. I actually tweeted a couple times, like, did the Muppets have it? I didn't know. By the way, I didn't know what the Muppets were because they were singing, so I thought they were potentially like, are they like, do they make music? Is it a musical? Their episodes? Is that what Muppets are?
Not really, but there are sing-alongs and stuff like that, I think.
Bars from old Buddy, but boy, I'm like, what are we doing? Is there nothing else coming out? Can we not put something else together? You know,
Yeah, maybe Wonder Woman. I don't know.
maybe Wonder Woman. Is Wonder Woman coming out?
Yeah, Christmas Day.
Who owns Wonder Woman?
Disney.
No,
That's Warner Brothers.
Is it?
Yeah, so you just made something up
It's on
there.
HBO now.
You just completely.
I thought it was Marvel. That's on me. That's
But you know what? By the way, I thought Greasy, Lewis, and Steve did a better job last night. Huh? I'll say it.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll say it. Maybe because I hated Muppets so bad. You know what I mean? I was just so angry about the Muppets popping in there. And why am I so angry about the Muppets? I'll tell you why. Because the same people that made the decision on who goes in there and told me that I didn't have enough couth for the booth, those people, they're doing that thinking it's hilarious. And maybe that's just me being a hater. But if they would have said, hey, we got something coming out on Christmas, it's like, okay, all right.
Makes sense.
At least this makes sense. I didn't even know that until this was Zito had to break the news for him. Because they were just shoving the Muppets down our goddamn throat last night. But I will say, the reason I think I was enjoying the game a lot more, just strictly because I saw all of Pittsburgh just kind of burning down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Zach Taylor, that guy, everybody was wondering if he could ever win a football game. I mean, last year tried to win, this year he's tried to win, hasn't done it on a regular occasion at all. Cincinnati Bengals don't even have a practice facility. It's December 22nd. It's cold as shit outside. They won against the Steelers. Maybe that's why it was such an enjoyable experience for me last night.
Where the broadcast was good. I was so mad I turned off the sound after the first 8 minutes after the 13th punt.
There was a lot of punts early. By the way, congrats on your bet hitting.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Come on, Tony.
Yeah, I thought they were okay.
It's because of
It's
the
going to be
Muppets.
tough preparing for Monday Night Football when you're interviewing for all these GM jobs.
Lewis Rake, by the way, congrats to him. I hope he gets a gig. A former player getting a general manager job is good for everybody. I like good football player up there at the top. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Swinging a hammer, swinging the axe. Bring your playbook. You're fucking out. That whole thing. That'd be good to have. I thought they were good last night, though, I think they were. I didn't see the internet going. A lot of Muppet talk on the internet.
Yeah, that's the thing. The Muppets did a real number on everybody, and then by the time they got to the broadcast, it was like, you know what, fuck it. We've given it to these guys for 14 weeks. Tonight's about how much we hate the Muppets.
So maybe the Muppets were like the sleight of hand.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah?
I think they got to do that every time now.
Smart.
Lead off with some stupid shit.
over
and
here.
then-
I guess whenever I have a kid, you know, I'll understand the SpongeBob shit and all this. What are we doing? They're watching this game alone, these kids? Or are you forcing the parents to watch alongside?
I think it's that one.
Why are you punishing parents? I don't know, man. You got to get next generation of kids to be football fans, though. You know what I mean? But they'll forget that game exists. What, one swipe of any social media
Well,
account?
how
the issue,
dumb do
dude.
they think kids are? It's like, hey, let's just put a pair of googly eyes on Patrick Mahomes. These kids are going to fucking love it.
I mean, hey, we all love football.
Hey, it's Christmas season, and we are being a little bit negative, but it's about time. Like, these are some fucking stupid ideas, aren't they? Are they not? I mean, these are some dumb ideas. Come on.
I mean, we grew up. We love football. And
Love football.
We watch people were getting their necks snapped. And
Hey, guess what? Guess what it did to us? This.
yeah,
Right here. Hell yeah.
I don't want to know the football fan that has to grow up on SpongeBob field goal posts.
Well, it's just, I don't understand it. And these people that are making these decisions, by the way, are making so much money that are making these decisions. It's like, come on. But hey, We will have somebody watch the SpongeBob game, probably Mitt. And Mitt will report back to us. That's when's that, in a couple weeks, right? That's playoffs? Dude, to be honest, not enough Patrick. But
I mean, if they're slimy and greasy and Levy in the booth, then that's one thing.
it's Nate Burleson. It's not
even the Monday Night Football crew.
No,
No.
it's Nate. It's the NFL Network. I think it's NFL, by the way, not like ESPN's doing this. It's the NFL. It's Nate Burleson, maybe Von Miller.
Really?
I don't know. I saw a couple names get tossed out there.
On the host?
No, I think Nate's the host.
Oh.
By the way, Nate did a good job hosting CBS last week. Happy for him. Good Morning Football, by the way. Toe drag swag. And he is a rapper.
Yes, he is.
And his 2020 recap rap is one that I cannot wait for. I wonder if he'll mumble rap in there, just because that seems to be the new trend of everybody. I can't rap, but I'll put words and sounds together that make no sense. What's that, Diggs?
The play-by-play will be Noah Eagle, which is Iron Eagle's son. The analyst will be Nate Burleson and Nick Star Gabrielle Nevea Green.
They should have kids do it.
Well, that's a kid? He's a
Oh,
child.
he's an actual kid?
Is that a child? That's
I could look him up.
Iron Eagle's kid, probably a kid, right? A child?
He does basketball.
Yeah, I think he just graduated from Syracuse or something.
Oh, nice. Nepotism, just handed a job.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, good. I'm sure he's great. Let's go to Kyle in Canada. What's going on, Kyle?
Hey, Pat. How's it going, bud?
Not too shabby. Thanks for calling in again. Can't wait to chat with you. What do you want to talk about, pal?
Well, I'm just glad I've been able to pick up your show in my region.
Yeah, well, hey, Canada, Indiana is a pretty big region, but it's not a bad one. They have their different accents. They love maple syrup, and you can't skate on ponds there. You skate on ponds there, the moose police will come out, and they'll slaughter you and kick you out of
They'll
there.
fucking ragdoll you right off the rink, pal.
Right there in Canada, Indiana. Make sure you stay off the ponds, okay? Don't even think about
I just want to say it was an honor getting cut off for Stone Cold, and I wonder if I could tell you a little story about some kids who were impersonating Stone Cold in my middle school.
Well, Kyle, I have about 100% feeling that this story is going to suck, but let's go for it.
All right. Well, like for whatever reason, a bunch of crazy kids end up at one school. Well, there was like a group of grade 8s when I was in grade 7 that like their entire mission was like Stone Cold stun every kid in the entire school that was in grade 7. And they were like plucking kids at like morning, lunch, and after school. So like some kids were getting stunned like 3 times a day. And depending on how you looked doing it, they would like turn into a full-blown match. And then I failed grade 7. That's probably why.
Oh! Not a bad story, Kyle. I mean, there's no reason to tell that on this regional show, but that's not a bad story.
No.
You know what I mean?
Really?
Back in the day, there was a lot of stunning going on.
Oh, yeah.
I used to do, at the time, it was DDT's, DDP's.
Diamond Cutter.
Oh,
Diamond Cutter.
Bang.
That used to come out of nowhere. British Bulldog, the Bulldog as well used to get that. Nowadays, I assume the RKO, but boy, teachers hated it. They did not understand a good work. You know what I mean?
Apparently they weren't watching. I don't know.
Oh, their deal.
How far back in the day were you doing that?
You go straight back to the fucking. I think we're doing it in elementary. So I think Holiday Park was.
Yeah,
going
it's
down.
probably the right age to be doing that.
Oh, you're saying grade 7, grade 8?
Well, no, Nick was doing that to me 4 years ago every single time we went out on the south side. So
Nick literally just did that to me last week.
He did, yeah.
Stunner?
He lifted me up. He German suplexed
one
you.
time he did to me, I got so mad I just took my entire beer and just poured it on his head.
Whoa, that was mean.
Hey, that was a shoot, bro. Okay.
He was in the luxury box of a Pirate game. He got a little embarrassed.
You could. By the way, not a bad thing to do with your friends.
No.
Doesn't matter what grade you're in, apparently.
luxury
Just
box.
random wrestling moves, by the way, needs to happen again. The RKO started coming out of nowhere, you know what I mean? Which is the old Diamond Cutter, but it's a little bit, I guess it's flatter, right? It's a little bit more attack. There is subtle differences, I guess. And Randy has made it obviously awesome, and he lit a motherfucker on fire the other night. So, I mean, Randy Orton goat talk and that whole thing. But those aren't a bad thing to do.
How about tombstone somebody?
Yeah, see, that's one you should stay away from.
Yeah.
That's a little dangerous.
Yeah, I can't believe Mongo McMichael had that as his finisher, by the way.
You ever throw a super kick in the hallway?
I super kicked an equipment manager in the Colts locker room one time, and he was in on it, but nobody else was, and he sold that son bitch.
Oh,
He
nice.
went into a laundry basket.
Oh, wow.
It was awesome. I think
Laundry's done.
I think we have it on film. It was pretty. We set up like a camera, and like a couple people walked by, and then all of a sudden he was just like, that whole thing, and I came flying out of nowhere. And by the way, this is happening while The rest of the team's watching film. Setting up these shoots. So that's why anytime you hear an NFL guy bash kicker and punter, I'm cool with it. Like, hey, I get it. Because while you were, studying whatever blitz the package they were coming, I was setting up a goddamn camera to sweet chin music and equipment guy. But it was pretty good. He sold that thing. He went flopping up over that thing. Somebody was like, is everything okay? Is everything okay? Everything's great, pal. Will you wheel him the fuck out of here? All right, we got to get to a break. 26 minutes into this thing. We got Mark Madden from Pittsburgh on the other side.
Yes!
Yeah. Juju.
Come on!
Doubled down on the TikTok dance. I don't know what this movie is.
Oh, yeah.
I'm starting to learn the dance, by the way.
Almost know the whole thing.
I'm starting to learn the dance. You know what I mean? I'm starting to do the whole dance. The Juju dance is a crowd pleaser. Mark Madden will be on the other side to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers, the state of the Steelers, the state of Juju Smith-Schuster. And what do we do from here, Mark? What do we do from here? We'll talk to him on the other side. It's 27 minutes into hour one here on the Pat McAfee Show. Aaron Rodgers, Tuesday, December 22nd. What's the most beer you did in one night you think of one of those shows?
Well, I never forget when we went to Japan one time. Dudley, Stacy Keebler. I mean, there were so many people out there. I think we went through 103 or 108. Now, between just for myself, I'd always make sure to have about a 12 or 18 pack there. And, here's the thing when some people say, oh, shit, man, you got too much of that beer on. You don't even know how to drink beer. It's like, dude, fuck you. You don't know what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to entertain 20,000 people in an arena. If I just go out there and sip it real properly, how fucking exciting is that? So when you're out there on an empty belly and you're shotgunning beers and all that shit's going in, the half that was going in was for me. The half that was going on was for them.
Nice.
But I'm telling you, Pat, when you shotgun a bunch of beers like that and you're drinking about half of each beer, you got a pretty damn good buzz when you come out. And that's a sacrifice I was willing to make every single night.
I would assume you were pretty fucked up, yeah. When did you start self-cheersing? When did you start self-cheersing? Was that something you did in college? You're like, hey, Steve, good for me, man. Like, when did that start?
No, you know what? I got to give credit to Sandman for starting that, but he was bashing him off his head, and I don't remember, and it wasn't because Sandman was doing it, so I don't want to say I copied him, but he was the first. So, and then my style was, because people always get us confused. They'll say, yeah, man, you used to bang them on your head. No, motherfucker, I was the guy that clacked them together. It was just something we came up with. I don't even know how the beers got introduced to the ring, but it became a thing, and we ran with it.
Okay. Okay. Oh my God! Best sign spinner in the world! At least now he says, that was unbelievable. Bro, no. Thank you for what you just did right there. What's your name?
Mike.
Mike, where you from?
Right here in Los Angeles.
That was fucking awesome to watch. Good luck out there. They should be paying you more.
Tune in for the World Sign Spinning Championship in Vegas.
There's a World Sign Spinning Championship?
In Vegas.
Are you like a national, are you a champion?
I rank.
You rank? What do you rank?
I got 8th in the 2013 if I'm not mistaken.
What do we have to do to get better? How do we get to first place? What's the new move? What's the new move? Maybe light it on fire.
Well, this one.
Oh! Least now! Oh my God! If I was getting to the end with the kickflip, I don't know how you're 8th in the world. You should be number 1. And if I was leasing a place, I'm fucking coming here. Oh my.
not talk about
Pat McAfee.
Do not talk about
Pat McAfee.
One fight at a time, fellas.
The Pat McAfee Show.
That's right.
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show here on Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, December 22nd, 2020. Today's show, we have no sponsor.
Huh, really?
But today, we have a giveaway to celebrate our partnership with the greatest fast food company on planet Earth.
Yeah!
Woo! In the mood of, the holiday season and the Muppets.
Sure.
Of course. How does Muppet Night Football make any sense? Well, they got something coming out on Christmas.
Yeah, some Carol.
Anyways, in the giving season, we would like to give away this Arby's brick.
Ooh.
What is an Arby's brick, you say? Well, it's a $500 gift card to Arby's. Now, is it 10 $50 gift cards rubber banded together to make one brick of a gift card? The answer is yes.
Yeah.
If you would like to enter into winning one of these 4 Arby's bricks, right now all you have to do is tweet hashtag Arby's is great with a space and then 4 numbers. Example, hashtag Arby's is great, space 1, 2, 3, 4. Once again, have a space in between the hashtag Arby's is great and the 4 numbers. We will then randomly select 4 numbers 4 different times. And if you have that number, and there's numerous, we'll then do a random selection. But I assume the numbers are going to be tough to get. We will give it away. You can enter up to 5 times. You will get this thing overnighted to you. Have it in time for the holiday season, potentially, depending on how everything's going with Amazon. We will try our best. $500 to Arby's. Even if you don't love Arby's, first of all, you're stupid if you don't. But if somebody in your family does, a friend does, this is a great gift. $500.
Jeez,
that's Arby's awesome. Brick. Hashtag Arby's is great. Space, 4 numbers, automatically be entered. Shout out to Arby's. Shout out to you. Shout out to the Pittsburgh Steelers for allowing us the opportunity to have this man back on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, Pittsburgh treasure, national hero, Mark Madden.
Yeah!
What's going on, bub?
Well. Hello, Pittsburgh.
So this is
I'm in Las Vegas. How you doing back home, Pittsburgh? How you feel today?
Okay.
How do you feel, Pittsburgh?
Okay, all right. So Mark Madden is in Las Vegas, obviously. You need a change of scene, he said to us off air. Last night you watched the game, I assume, somewhere really nice in Vegas over there. What were your thoughts? How do you feel?
Well, first off, Pat, I want to thank you for having me on because unlike some sports entertainment entities we could mention, you know to have your best interview on as often as possible.
Of course. You're 100% right.
And by the way, my fee for doing this show is that Arby's brick, so don't be so quick to give it away.
You could enter, Mark. You could enter alongside Mark. All you got to do is tweet hashtag Arby's is great, space, and then 4 numbers. Thank you, Mark.
The minute this is over, I cannot wait. The Steelers are in a lot of trouble, but it doesn't surprise me because I've been telling people all season that they were not as good as their record. They beat up on a bunch of crap teams. They had very few signature wins outside of maybe routing the Browns. That was their only complete 60 minutes. And now the chickens have come home to roost. Ben can't get the ball anywhere. He's pushing the ball and has no confidence on any throw that goes more than 10 yards. Tomlin's like a deer in headlights. He does not know what to do. That's very clear. And the Juju thing, which I'm sure we're going to talk about, that is not the cause. That's the symptom.
Ooh.
When a guy like that goes rogue and loses focus, that lack of focus trickles down to the rest of the team. They have no veterans, they have no leaders in that locker room. No leaders, only veterans. Because a leader would have told Juju to knock this crap off a long, long time ago. But the biggest problem isn't Juju. Again, he is just a symptom. I think they may well lose out, including their first-round playoff game. And if that happens, Tomlin should be fired and Ben should retire.
Whoa. Okay, hold on.
I know I'm right, but refute it, please.
Yeah, well, Tomlin has been great for a long time. The only coach to coach as long as he had never have a losing season. It seems like the boys are always in it. Last year, no quarterback. You've gone after that a couple times. Almost led him to the playoffs. Still had a winning season. This year, 11 straight. Now everything's unrattled. You're saying, hey, get rid of Mike Tomlin if they lose out?
If they lose, yes, I am saying that.
Wow.
It's gone on long enough, Pat. He has 3 playoff wins in a decade, and this is the 3rd straight season the team is abjectly collapsing for 3 straight seasons. So if you don't fire the coach, if the quarterback doesn't retire, you tell me, how do you fix it?
Okay, so let's talk about Ben. You've always been a guy that's gone to bat for Ben because
Absolutely, but I know what I'm seeing.
you think he stinks.
I didn't say stinks. I just think his whether he's admitting it or his elbow can't get the ball there. It can't get the ball there. He's pushing the ball all the time. You guys see the same thing. And maybe the knee's bothering him. I don't know. And if he recovers from those things at 38, what are the odds that recovery will be permanent, that he won't relapse? Now, you can make the argument that him at quarterback at 39, even like he is next year, is better than what they would have otherwise, but I'm not so sure about that. And I am a Ben guy, and I have respect for him as much as I have for any athlete I've ever worked with. And his accomplishments are undeniable. He'll be in the Hall of Fame, as will be Tomlin. But I know what I'm seeing. And there's no way to fix this if the same cast comes back next year, in particular the coach and quarterback. Now, hey, all they have to do to prove me wrong is not lose out. And in particular, win a playoff game. If they win a playoff game, then yeah, this was just a hiccup and things could still be steered in the right direction. But let me ask you, Pat, does this look like a hiccup to you? No. They haven't played well for over a month.
And they've lost their swag completely. You know what I mean? There's no like career. It doesn't feel like there's any
no leaders.
Aside from the pregame dances, there isn't a lot of upbeat on the sideline, which, by the way, is huge for how your team is feeling behind closed doors. You can learn a lot about a team by how they interact with each other. That team seems to be lost for the last couple of weeks. It's been a long season. So you're saying that Randy Fichtner should not be getting as much blame as he's been getting as the offense coordinator because Ben?
Oh, no, they should drag him out behind the barn and well, never mind. No, he's done a terrible job. There's no question about that, but that's what we do in Pittsburgh. We can't blame the coach. We can't blame the quarterback, even though we kind of do all the time. But when it comes to actually firing somebody, fire the coordinator. That'll fix everything. Firing Randy Fichtner will do nothing. Ben's the real coordinator. Whoever the coordinator is just does Ben's detail work, period. This is on the coach and the quarterback, period.
Did you think they were going to lose last night going into that game?
Obviously not, because I'm in Las Vegas. I never would have taken the week off work, and I thought they were going to lose. I mean, seriously, I'm doing a guest appearance on my own show today with Adam Crowley, who's deputizing for me, because you got to talk about this. But I got to tell you, Pat, I was in Hooters last night here in Vegas, lovely place, and I was drinking, I'm not going to lie. And when Juju fumbled after the big hit, after doing the TikTok, and I knew that he would be ridiculed from coast to coast in the wake of that fumble. I knew that, and it's happened, and it's glorious. More glorious than D-Day. I had a vision.
Jesus.
God came unto me in Hooters, Pat. God came unto me, and he said, Super Genius, gather unto you what is yours. And he saw that it was good. And it is.
Quick.
Pat, I love when I make you cringe. That's my favorite part of the
I know. I mean, the D-Day line was a bit wild. Before Diggs has a question for you as well. I mean, I mean, you are fucking outrageous as a human.
More glorious than D-Day. You know who said that first?
Oh.
Red Foreman on that 70s show about the possibility of Eric moving on. It will be more glorious than D-Day.
Great reference there. All right. Before Diggs asks you a question, I know you're a man that fancies an adult ballet every once in a while. Have you seen these pictures of Dwayne Haskins having a good time on Sunday night, and now he's had to come out and apologize, and people are burying him for it?
Well, the only thing I think he has to apologize for is not wearing the mask.
Yeah, I mean,
he's an adult. He can do what he wants to do. Although out here in Vegas, listen to this. A couple gentlemen's clubs are open, notably Sapphire, the world's biggest. I've not been there, and you'll find out why, because there's no point to it. In the champagne rooms, the girls are dancing behind what could loosely be called saran wrap partitions in the champagne room.
Oh, yeah. Mark, you can't be thrilled with that. You can't be.
There are 3 words that have nothing to do with that, and those words are down and dirty. I just have no interest.
Well, you got things. Let's just move on. For those that don't know, I mean, Mark is a noted.
can't be good for me either. Drinking more, my God.
Noted adult ballet fan, Mark Madden. What do you got, Diggs?
Hey, Super Genius, Mr. 166. First off, I bow down to you. You are the king of the mutes, and you were first on the Juju anti-TikTok, anti-Juju. I jumped on that train very, very quickly. It just came out as you were coming on that Tomlin said he is going to sit down with Juju and have a talk to him about the dancing on the logos before the game. How do you think that's going to go?
Pat, we're allowed to swear on the show, right?
Yeah, let it eat, pal.
Okay, you don't sit down with Juju and talk this out. You say, don't fucking do it again. Okay, you don't leave a choice. And that should have been done a long time ago by Tomlin or by Cam Hayward or by Ben or by somebody. Juju is AB light. Okay, he's not as annoying, but he's not as good either. And he's so annoying that you say, boy, he should be better than this if he's this annoying. He's just a child. He's an absolute child. And let me tell you something. And dozens.
And dozens.
You guys missed your cue.
Well, your inflection wasn't great.
Okay, let me try it again.
Yeah.
There are dozens.
And dozens.
That's more like it. Of people in Pittsburgh who have encountered Juju when he's not doing a video that'll tell you the kind of person he really is. Okay?
All right.
He's just the guy who lives for the camera, and without it, he's a schmuck. And he's not a bad player, but he's not doing much this year. Pat, what are his stats this year?
They're bad.
He's like 29th in.
Okay, can we go back to the Tomlin talking to him thing? Because you're mad that he came out and said he's going to talk to him. Like, Tomlin, what do you think?
I'm not mad. Well, put it this way. If I knew the talk was going to be akin to what I've suggested, I'd be okay with it. In fact, I'd be overjoyed with it.
Well, I assume it would be akin to what you said there. But I think also Tomlin was probably hoping that he didn't have to have this conversation, right? This feels like a locker room conversation that should be happening. I feel like Tomlin's probably at the point where he's like, all right, I guess I'm going to have to do this because nobody else will, which goes back to your problem. They have veterans. They don't have leaders. Will they be able to turn this thing around? I have no idea. Mark, can't thank you enough for your time. Enjoy Vegas, pal.
It's not as open as I'd like, hence the saran wrap.
Hey, bust down those saran wrap walls over there, Mark.
Well, my final word is that could help in cleanup.
Oh, Jesus. Mark Madden. Clean up. He's a maniac. He's an absolute maniac.
Nuke.
He is. He just came in and just more glorious than D-Day whenever Juju got hit by Vaughn. I mean, that is what you're doing, though, if you're Juju. And I've been saying that for like a year now at this point, maybe 2 years. Like, hey, Juju, when you're doing all that stuff, you just – and I assume he expects it, by the way. Like, he knows it's going to come on the other side, and he's just doing it. And the thought of him saying, I'm going to continue to dance on the field and everything like that, you know, if they win – everybody's talking about how Juju's a savage. You know what I mean? Like, what a sav. He didn't change anything. He does. They lose. He gets blown up in the middle of it. He has to expect what's coming today and what came last night on social media. It's just one of those things. You know what I mean? It's just he has to know that that's coming.
They highlighted it on the broadcast.
Oh, my God. And everybody's like how it started versus how it's going. I mean, it was just a – and, by the way, Darius Butler tweeted this out. The highest jersey sales by somebody other than a quarterback in the NFL, Juju Smith-Schuster.
Whoa.
Hey, so that business is booming over there. It doesn't matter how many times he gets blown up in the middle of it. And that's probably a problem, by the way. That is probably a problem. He does not care.
I have no problem with him dancing. Just, I mean, do it somewhere where they don't care about winning. Like, and they just care about having fun.
But the bulletin board material is not real, okay? Everybody wants to play. Everybody wants to do that. But I assume it's much sweeter whenever you potentially blow up somebody that, you know, is a disrespectful person in your eyes to your team. Like, I don't think Vaughn made that play because Juju was dancing on the logo. But I do believe Vaughn enjoyed it a lot more because it was Juju who danced on the logo. You know, it's just a very interesting series because these are all adults, allegedly, some of them. What's going on?
Right, because, like, I mean, those guys are always trying to smack someone big time. But do you think, like, when Juju's lined up, they're like, okay, there he is. Like, they're just like guys are just licking their chops to fucking smack him in the mouth every time he lines up. It seems like.
And by the way, it's not just Juju that people are trying to smack in the mouth. You know what I mean? In the city of Pittsburgh, there is a new face of people that are trying to smack in the mouth, and that'd be Evan Fox. Joining us now. SmackDown commentator, noted Pittsburgh Steelers fan, Corey Graves.
Wow,
you look looks so cool right now. I have never seen somebody look as cool as he looks. He has a leather jacket with a Steve Jobs black turtleneck on. I've never seen a cooler looking human in my life. Big Steelers fan, how do you feel about the world right now?
Well, I wanted to call my favorite broadcast program, the Pat McAfee Show, and wish you all a very Merry Christmas.
Have a good Muppet Christmas.
Yes, with a noted exception of one Evan Fox.
Whoa.
Because I just listened to the Super Genius, and big shoes to follow. It's tough to follow Madden doing anything. He speaks the truth. He knows the facts. But I think we're being lost in the fact that everybody's mad at Juju Smith-Schuster when this is ultimately Evan Fox's fault.
Do you buy into that? Do you buy into the Fox curse at this point?
Absolutely, I do. Absolutely. I mean, as a born and raised Pittsburgher, we got to blame something that isn't the team.
Bingo.
So the one variable this year was once upon a time Detroit Lions fan jumps on our bandwagon and just runs it off the tracks.
You know, it's very interesting. When I joined the Pittsburgh Steelers, you know, the greatest franchise of all time with the greatest fans of all time, I thought you guys would welcome me with open arms. You guys would be nicer.
Yeah, is that what I saw in the corner of my eye?
Yeah, you saw it. Yeah. You saw it. And all I'm getting is these Steelers fans getting mad at me because their team stinks. This is not my fault, Corey.
He wanted to be a part of a group with you, Corey. That's all Evan wanted to be, a part of your group.
Listen, I think Evan should probably take notes from my beloved girlfriend, who was once upon a time a New England Patriots cheerleader. And upon moving to the city of Pittsburgh, I said, baby, please become a Steelers fan. It's the only way to go. And she just refused. She said, no, her team's out of the playoffs. She doesn't care. She just gave up. She's a true fan.
But Corey, I've had 26 years of life, and I've never seen one single playoff win. I just want a little bit of football happiness in my life, and it's literally never happened. And I thought with the Steelers, this was going to be the year it happened.
And what Foxy's saying to your wife or your girlfriend is, hey, good for you. You had 20 years of success.
Bingo.
Foxy's like, I didn't have that. I had 26 years of failure. I would have been a little bit more loyal if his team didn't suck so bad.
I'm gonna blow up that entire argument with the fact that I'm still a Pittsburgh Pirates fan.
Yeah, but that's stupid. You should not be.
Foolish.
He's got nothing to say.
Well, no, I thought I was going to ask what year he was born. Fox, what year were you born?
I was born in 84.
I'm
so
94.
I've lived through some success.
Wow,
and I also remember Sid Bream breaking the city's hearts. And I feel like at this very moment, Evan Fox is on par with Sid Bream in the city of Pittsburgh as far as fans.
Yes.
Wow.
Fans' point of view.
Hey, that's like the fucking the guy from the Cubs,
Steve Bartman.
Yeah,
you were akin to Steve Bartman.
Yes.
Oh shit!
Don't show your face back in there. Hey, why do you look so cool right now? Are you going to like a Mad Men commercial? Like, what are you doing?
I wish I was going to a Mad Men convention. I'm actually preparing to step foot into the noted WWE Thunderdome to do a little work today. You know, it's Christmas week. We got the schedule changed up a little.
Hey, I want to let her. I don't know when you're going to be on air with this particular costume, but god damn, you look good. Thank you for joining us, Corey. We appreciate you, man.
Thank you, Corey. Merry Christmas, even you, Foxy.
Hey,
Thank you, Corey.
that was very nice of him. Look at that. Steelers fans saying Merry Christmas to each other.
Yeah, he heard me say, no Steelers fans welcome me, so maybe he started thinking about it. We got to be better fans.
Have you ever seen somebody look that cool before?
No.
Wow. So cool, dude. His beard was perfect. His hair was perfect.
Fresh out of the shop.
Black turtleneck with a black leather jacket on.
Yeah.
He looked like he was out of a movie right there.
Yeah.
He legitimately looked like he was out of a movie.
You know how you ensure that no one will ever look at you in your entire life? Hang out with Corey Graves for an evening.
Yeah, he's pretty handsome son of a bitch.
You may as well be invisible.
Yeah, he's got all those tats, too. He's like the bad boy.
Yeah. Who's the handsome guy, and what's that thing with you?
He comes straight out of like the fantasy factory of some women that love the bad boy.
Yes.
The dark, tall, dark, and handsome bad boy. Like that is. He looked unbelievable right there. It was hard to really listen to what he was saying, but boy, Foxy, he hates you. He said you're the Steve Bartman of Pittsburgh right now.
That's bad.
You got to get out of here. I don't know if you can go back, pal. Let's get some phone calls.
No,
His protection.
Let's go to Derek in Texas, Indiana. What's going on, Derek?
Hey, Pat, man, how y'all doing?
Hey, not too shabby. Foxy's just getting buried by all of Pittsburgh. I can't wait till, who's that big guy from Pittsburgh that goes on them shows?
Joe Manganiello?
No, he is a big guy that is on them. Who's that other guy, the bigger guy? You know, Pittsburgh the Pittsburgh guy.
Billy Gardell?
Yeah,
Billy Gardell.
Oh, man.
All we need, we're one Billy Gardell call away from Foxy potentially ending up in the bottom of the goddamn river in Pittsburgh at this point. What do you want to talk about, Derek?
Hey, before I ask my question, I wanted to say something about your run in NXT, man. I have been a WWE fan forever, and I had the WWE Network, and then I let it go. and for fight week, I got it back just because of your match with Adam. Yeah,
hell yeah. Hey, we appreciate you, Derek. We appreciate you a lot, man.
And I want to say, man, I wish that match would have been in front of fans because I think there would have been some holy shit chants and some this is awesome chants.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
You did pro wrestling, a solid.
Well, thank you,
being a
Derek.
celebrity going in, man.
That means a lot, Derek. I appreciate that. A lot of the other wrestlers have told me that they wish that I've gotten a chance to experience an arena and things like that. Maybe one day I will. And who knows if we ever have arenas again, by the way.
True.
Hopefully we will. Shout out vaccines. Wuhan seems to be all the way back. But maybe one day I'll get that opportunity. If not, it was a lot of fun anyways, and I appreciate your kind words. What do you want to talk about, Derek?
I think there's two curses on the Pat McAfee show.
Okay.
I think there's Foxy.
Yeah, for sure.
And I also think there's another curse. There's the curse of the hawk.
Oh,
wow. And the hawk killed my quarterback. So I want to see, what do I need to do to get Foxy and the hawk to like and love the Washington football team now, so my Cowboys can get into the playoffs.
Yeah, that is interesting because the Hawk jumped on the Cowboys and he said he lost his quarterback down there. Dak had one of the most gruesome injuries in history just weeks after AJ said he was pulling for the Dallas Cowboys to make the Super Bowl. Right. That is interesting. Maybe Foxy and AJ should team up and go somewhere else.
I have been scanning the Washington football team as a potential team that I want to root for.
No way.
They have to make the playoffs, so I can't do it yet, but they are on my radar.
Oh, no.
Okay. With what's going on in Washington, if Foxy jumps in there, they might be really fucked going forward.
Jeff Bezos, by the way.
Federal.
Hey, there's a lot going on over there, that Washington football team, huh?
Yeah.
There's just more stones being unturned as the days go by.
Every day something new's coming out of that place.
Which, by the way, if they make the playoffs, unbelievable year.
Yeah.
I don't know how you would do it.
There better be a movie coming out next year about it.
It would be that meme where literally everything's on fire.
Yeah,
And
it's fine.
Everyone's just sitting there completing passes, with a hamstring as a shin, cancer to the head coach, and we got a adult ballet visit with no mask, and then who's put him on camera, by the way? Have a little couth.
Come on.
Shall we?
Give the guy a chance.
Give the guy a chance to enjoy his life a little bit.
I feel bad for Jason Wright. You think he ever walks in there and he's just like, Jesus fucking Christ. Are you kidding me?
No, he loves it. He loves it. I mean, he loves it. He's going to come back from it.
I think he's the right guy to do it right. He just came from crisis management team or whatever. But there has to be a day where he walks in where he's like, all right, tell me something, another one.
Really?
All right, tell me something, another expose. How much did you guys fucking do before I got here? Walks in, what's good today? Your coach has cancer. God.
Son of a bitch.
All right, let me walk in today. What do we got? We're doing good? Dwayne Haskins was at King of Diamonds, Washington last night with no mask. God damn it. All right, let me walk back in here. We don't have a name. God damn it! How much more do we got? By the way, the ability just to show up every single day and have a mindset where I'm going to go and get it, that is a great trait to have.
Even more impressive.
That's a great trait to have. You know what I mean? In the face of everything, just show up and do your job.
How many millions? What? Are you serious again?
How did you guys operate as a fucking company? I bet you Jason's just sitting there like, how did this place even exist before we got it? Because I'm reading from afar and seeing from afar, and I'm like, how does a company that's worth $1 billion, more than $1 billion, operate in that fashion? It's because they thought they could do whatever the fuck they wanted, I guess.
Do you think he has much interaction with Daniel Snyder?
I wonder if he's talking to Bezos more than Snyder at this point. I wonder if he's... And I do wonder how that's going with old Snyder. Because...
Hey, your next 2 weeks aren't going to be great, all right? So
Bezos just sends a text message. Hey, you know how you went for that crisis management firm? Gonna put that to the test again. See how you get out of this one, pal.
Not done yet.
You think this is obviously Bezos trying to get the squad, right? The team?
Seems like it.
I mean, he doesn't
have to do much.
He needs to change his sights on a Detroit.
By the way, he just has to observe and report.
Yeah.
That place is operating in a terrible fashion. Can't do it. The NFL has to be so disgusted. Like, why are you guys doing it? But granted, I mean, we don't know what we don't know about anything, I guess, at this point. Dwayne Haskins should have had a mask on while he was making it rain out there. He apologized. He'll learn from it. Hopefully. Will Juju learn from it? Will anybody else talk to us in the next hour and tell us anything good? I think so. Joining us in the next hour, Tommy Curran, Charles Davis, and Aaron Rodgers.
Whoa!
Yeah, that's right. You got about 6 minutes. Go ahead and take a shit, refuel. We're back on the other side of this Pat McAfee show. If something happens one time, anomaly. Happens 2 times, it's like, oh, okay, maybe. But whenever there's a trend of 18 plus, 20 plus things being predicted, you got to go like, hey, Groening, the gig's up. We know. You're a time traveler.
Just tell us.
Bro, I just want to talk to you. I got so many questions. Siegfried and Roy tiger attack. Do you remember that?
Of course.
Do you remember back in the day how tight Siegfried and Roy were with their tigers? It was like every main story was like, oh, these tigers are the best behaved animals on earth, blah, blah, blah. Simpsons in 1993 said the tiger is going to turn. This little friendly tiger is going to become an enemy of Siegfried and Roy quickly, and it's going to happen. 2003, it actually happened. Autocorrect errors, 1994. Before you could even play Snake on the gray little box phone, they predicted that autocorrect will happen on your phone. Are you kidding me? Didn't happen until 2007. FaceTime, 1995. Not even a thought. I don't even know if anybody knew what the fuck the internet was.
Oh, that's that little mark with the A and then the ring around it.
At?
See, that's what I said.
Mm-hmm. No,
what is internet anyway?
In 1995, they said, don't worry, you'll be carrying around a device where you will be face-to-face with somebody on the opposite side of Earth. 1995, they said that. 2010, it happened. Faulty voter machines. 2008, they predicted it. 2012, it became the forefront of conversation in a big, big way. I assume these voter machines have been up in question for a long, long time, but they just knew that it was going to come to fruition in 2012.
No, I want to vote for Obama.
2 votes for McCain.
Come on, it's time for a change.
3 votes for McCain.
The God particle. Now, this is the big one. Ty Schmidt did research. He said the God particle is the absolute reason why he is 1,000% a time traveler. Homer Simpson got up there like fucking Matt Damon in that movie where they have that
Good Will Hunting.
Good Will Hunting, and draws up this equation for what the God particle is, which, what is the God particle?
Yeah, it's basically this equation that essentially like explains how the universe was created.
And they did that in 1998, and the exact equation happens in 2012.
That's unheard of.
14 years ahead of time. They got Homer Simpson up there looking like that goddamn janitor from Harvard, solving equations up on a chalkboard. And 14 years later, it's like, yeah, that's actually how the universe was founded. It's like, wait a fucking minute, little comedy writer with a goddamn yellow cartoon, bro. That's insane. The NSA spying scandal. Everybody knew that the Patriot Act was like in existence, but nobody had a clue that NSA literally knows everything about you. Every dick you've sent has been seen by some government agency, but it wasn't always like that. We didn't know that everything was getting spied on, Sean. Nobody knew that.
I didn't know.
They predicted that in 2007, 2013 it happened.
No, Lisa, it's not like the government is listening to everybody's conversation.
Smartwatches, 1995, they said it would happen. 2014, they came to fruition. America's Ebola outbreak, 1997, they said it. 2014, do you remember when Ebola hit? It was like, it was literally...
Hospitals like shutting down.
Oh, they had people wearing like hazmat suits, carrying people around because they were scared Ebola was possible. In the modern world, this was happening. Years and years and years and years ago, Matt Groening said this is going to happen. The FIFA corruption scandal, 2014, they called it. 2015, it came all crashing down. Everybody knew they were getting their pockets greased, making decisions, sending a World Cup to a goddamn desert. Matt Groening said it's going to happen. It happened. Greece's debt default, 2012, they called it. 2015, it happened. So many countries out there, by the way.
They picked Greece?
The exact country to happen. Trump's presidency, 2000, they called it. 2016, it came to fruition. The Simpsons called this. President Trump out there, and everybody probably looked at, those Simpsons guys are so funny. Bang, 16 years later, it is about to happen. It goes down. Lady Gaga Super Bowl halftime show, 2012, they called it. 2017. I mean, I think we all knew that she was born this way. She would probably get the halftime show at some point, but to the details that they had. These are not coincidences. Coincidenci. I don't know how you pronounce it.
How the fuck do they know this stuff? It's got to be time travel.
Matt Groening is a time travel. I have so many fucking questions. Disney's takeover of Fox, 1998, they said it. 2017, it happens.
the Shard in London, which is a building behind Big Ben, I guess. Is that right?
Apparently, that's what Google search said.
1995, 2009, it comes to fruition. Robot Librarians, 95, they called it. 2016, it happens. The censorship of Michelangelo's David, 1990, 2016, it happened. Three-eyed fish from the fucking nuclear waste place.
In Japan.
Three-eyed fish comes to fruition in 2001. Matt Groening did it in 1990. 9/11. 9/11. They called that happening. If you do recall, planes going into buildings, they said it in 1997, 2001, it happens. The Syrian uprising, everything that's going on in the Middle East has all been talked about on The Simpsons. And then he created another show called Futurama. That is huge. He created another show like, yeah, listen, here's me rubbing it in the face that's where I could go if I have to. I have so many questions for Matt Groening, and guess what, Matt Groening? The gig's up. We know. I'm all in on you, Matt. And I'm a fan, by the way, aren't we? We're big fans.
I'm a huge fan.
If you want to travel to future me or current me or past me and say what's up, I think we would all be appreciated.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, December 22nd, 2020, and that man will be joining us in 1 hour. Joining us right now is a man from New England. Cannot wait to chat with him at the beginning of the season after training camp. He said, hey, listen, this Patriots team is not good, pal. That's what he said. Nope. Connor tried to explain to him that he had nothing but faith in Bill Belichick and Bill Belichick's brain, and the Patriots are going to be good regardless. And this guy said, nah, listen. I was at training camp, Connor. And the cavalry ain't coming around the bend. Nope. Lo and behold, here we are, going into week 16, and it has already been concluded that the Patriots are dead. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us, NBC Sports Boston guy, Tom E. Curran. Yeah! Boy, Tom.
How's everybody doing?
Hey, not too shabby. How are you? Nice car. You live well. Thank you for joining us.
This is the house. It's not that well that I live.
If you're living in your car because the Patriots have been kicked out of the playoffs already, I respect and appreciate you living and dying with the team. Tom, you knew it. Basically, very early after watching training camp, you said, hey, the roster's just not good. The roster's just not good. You said, in this year, there were some moments of greatness. There was a little bit of hope, but ultimately they're out. What do you think happens from this point forward for the Patriots, Tom?
What's interesting is, pardon me, we had a situation yesterday on one of our shows where our producer said, so why do you think the Patriots are out of the playoffs? And I said, what are we talking about? I mean, think about this. Tom Brady's in Tampa Bay. He's thrown 32 touchdowns and 11 picks. They didn't sniff the playoffs until he showed up, and they're in. Last year when he was here, he threw 24 touchdowns and 8 picks, and I think he threw for 4,000 yards. The team went 12-4. He leaves. They go to the playoffs. In his stead, the Patriots have thrown for 2,500 yards. Cam has 5 touchdowns and 10 picks. The position has 8 touchdowns and 14 picks. So what's the problem? Tom Brady's gone. So, henceforth and hitherto, they better figure out that position. And Bill is very reluctant, it seems, to go to Jarrett Stidham. And he's got to give up the Cam Newton ghost at some point.
Okay, so let's talk about that, because Stidham was the guy going into the season. And no matter how bad Cam did, there was no Cam, thanks for asking that question. It's a really good question. Cam's your quarterback is what he said. Why was that? Because how much he liked Cam, how much he appreciated Cam? Or do you think it's because Stidham potentially stinks?
Pat, it's both. It's all of the above. And I think that there's a smidgen of, you guys wouldn't have been covering 20 Super Bowls. And 6 Super Bowls and 9 conference championships, and you wouldn't have your little shows and be on the Pat McAfee show if it wasn't for me. So don't come around with your questions about when I'm going to replace him. So there is a portion of Stidham. Remember that game in 2014 when the Patriots were getting their asses kicked by Kansas City, and then Garoppolo came in and finished it out pretty well.
Yeah.
Stidham has not had that moment where it makes the Patriots say, okay, this is something. Even we were getting blown out, he came in and showed us something. So that reluctance, plus the fact that they don't really blame it all on Cam because they understand the limitations, have led Belichick to be very loyal to him. They don't want to have Stidham go in there and throw 5 picks and have the game over like that. And they also understand that Cam generally, maybe not completely, but can keep it close because he can run with it. But now, I mean, we've given up the ghost here. So,
No, okay, so I got a question for you, though. Bill, some things have happened that are not Bill Belichick-like teams this year. Okay, we go back. The Hoyer sack before half, no timeouts, in field goal position. That ends. That's not good. That doesn't happen. Too many men on the field this past week in the first half coming out of a timeout. At the end of the game, down 10, they end up getting sacked on 4th down in field goal range, ends the game. It feels like Bill Belichick, and then after the game with McVay, instead of like being I don't know how Bill Belichick normally would be after a loss, but you could only tell. He said, hey, thanks, man. You guys kicked our ass, man. Have a good one. It feels like Bill understands that this year was going to be a very different year. Am I reading too much into a lot of this stuff?
You're 100% right. He's acknowledged that. He has stated, look, we went, I think that he used the word, we sold out.
Yeah.
We sold out the past few years. And, I think Brady would look around and say, did he just say what I think he said? Because I clearly remember handing off to Cordero Patterson during some games when he had to play running back. And I also remember throwing to Chris Hogan and Philip Dorsett, and Josh Gordon was here until he wasn't because he did what Josh Gordon usually does. So I think that the notion that they've sold out and that there are salary cap problems it's a little bit of camouflage, a little bit of a smokescreen. Brady gave them a break for, almost 2 full decades on the salary. So to complain salary cap and kind of point at Tom and say, we got to clean up after him salary cap wise. You kidding me?
Tom, how's your relationship with Belichick?
Right now, I think it's kind of cool. It has been very good in the past. I mean, I have had a very good relationship with him. And now, really in 2017, when the Brady stuff started going on, you look at the landscape, you report on the landscape as you see it. And I really said, look, he's clearly holding the door open and waiting for the guy to leave, and he hasn't left yet. So you write that, you say it enough that it gets back to him. And, I'm in with everybody else, but he is a very transactional guy to cover. If you're helping him, he's helping you. If you're not, he's not. And there comes a point where the conflict of the two things becomes too great to continue on that road. You know what I mean, Pat?
Yeah.
Because I want to get the information, but if I'm going to be not telling what I objectively to be true and watching my step, and I'm still not getting any information, well, what good is it?
Well, and you can't afford cars that have that type of soft leather that you're sitting in right there if you're not a good journalist. I
got to get the kids. Guys, get out of that bed.
Because WEEI reported something that I said yesterday about Bill has been checked out or whatever. And now I'm like, well, Bill definitely heard that. I'm never going to get to talk to him. But I was pointing out some things that are very un-Bill-like that have been happening because Bill's our stalwart of smart football, of like, hey, this is how you do football. Whenever other coaches want to know how to manage games, they normally look at what Bill Belichick is doing for games. And if you can handle those situations, that's like Bill Belichick's big thing. This year, there's been a couple bobbles in that world too. So it's like, what the hell's going on? Has he just been checked out of this entire thing, I wonder?
No, and it's not that. To me, I think that in the 5 days leading up to a game and on game day, you don't want anybody else running your team. Even that situation last week, down 10, they're at the 23-yard line, it's 4th down, they don't kick the field goal. I don't blame them for that because the way they were moving the ball, there's a pretty good chance you weren't going to get down there that far to even have a chance at scoring a touchdown. You needed a touchdown anyway.
Wait, Tom. You think, well, maybe with the way Cam throws, I guess.
You can't get down there. So you're going to have to get the touchdown eventually.
But you can throw a Hail Mary field goal, you have to be in field goal range.
For him, you have to be inside the 30.
I knew, Connor, what do you got? I knew that was coming. That's on me.
Yeah, Tom, you've said that the roster stinks, and it's hard to disagree with you. But do you think if Brady's on the team that the Patriots go to the playoffs this year?
I think he can mask enough to get you to 9-7. Really, I mean, that's what we're talking about. Would it be 5 touchdowns and 10 picks and 8 touchdowns and 14 picks for the offense as a whole? Probably not. What would Brady's 21 touchdowns and 11 picks get you win-loss wise? What did the running ability of Cam get you earlier in the season? Got you a little bit. So, hey, you know what? I actually feel badly, and I'm going to say this.
Oh.
No, I know. It's weird. It's a little bit maybe more attuned to things than I would be, but there are people living in their cars and shit.
My God, Tom! Do not feel bad for that.
Joking about it, shitty.
No, Tom. Hey, what a hero, Tom. Hey, you're a real hero, Tom.
Full circle.
But joking about it is shitty. So
yeah, Tom. All right. Well, I'll tell you what you said about Bill Belichick, they're also shitty, man. I shouldn't do that. What do you got, Diggs?
Tom, it's been said on this program, and I've seen it some other places. Do you see a scenario where Jimmy G is back in New England?
100% I do, yes. There's only $2.5 million that it would cost San Francisco if they wanted to move on from him. What's their alternative? What's their upside to moving on? Well, they have to debate that. Who do they replace him with? But they also have to debate, is this guy taking up at $28 million on our cap too much for a guy who's too frequently unavailable? So if they move on from him, then the Patriots have to declare, okay, we're going to go into the Jimmy business, but we're not going to pay him $25 million. So does Garoppolo agree to come back where he was, even looking at this roster, and say, yeah, you know what, sight unseen, I'm gonna trust you, Bill. So I think on the surface the fit makes sense. San Francisco could release him, the Patriots would want him, and Jimmy probably feels a little bit beholden to Bill in terms of trust. But when it really push came to shove, if you were a 29-year-old quarterback who wanted to succeed, would you think that Bill Belichick's going to draft a bunch of guys around you when he generally hasn't? And if Josh McDaniels goes elsewhere, do you want to come to this offense?
Are you worried? It sounds like you're a little gloom and doom about the future of the Patriots right now.
Yeah, I don't think the road to recovery has started, Patrick.
Oh no, they stink, huh? They're going to stink for a long time.
They got all the cap room, but they have Joe Tooney's up, and David Andrews is up, and Stephon Gilmore's going to want to raise, and Devin McCourty's up in 2 years, and Dante Hightower and Patrick Chung opted out. We'll see if they come back. Rex Burkhead and James White are up. Lawrence Guy and Adam Butler are up. So all that money they have, the folks are looking at to say, okay, Julian's 34. Who's your next core? Who's your next quarterback? Does McDaniels stay? They got, as Bill said this week, in sidestepping the Cam question, we have a lot of questions to answer.
Well, thank you for coming on here and answering all of our questions. Now go park your car at a yard so you can go ahead and live there. You know what I mean?
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. I really appreciate you guys letting me be a part of this year. It's been fun every time.
No, we appreciate you for being a part of this thing this year. We appreciate you, Tommy Kern. Merry Christmas to you too, Tom.
You guys.
How about Tom have a little change of heart about joking around about living in his car?
That's good guy. Nice. Wheels were turning.
Oh, yeah, guys. Somebody's probably telling me that I'm a bad guy for doing that. It's a joke. These are jokes.
Might have got a text. I wonder if you saw something pop
His
up
wife.
on his phone. Yeah,
That was really shitty.
I love where he drew the line, by the way. Cam can't throw a deep ball. I'm going to bury him for that. Can't throw a Hail Mary. But, this, it is kind of shitty, isn't it?
Tom, we can't lose your job. Apologize now.
I'm not actually living in my car.
Okay, people are living in their cars.
It's my car.
A lot of things were said there, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. If, the players who opted out retire and Bill doesn't sign anybody, yeah, maybe we're in trouble. But let's assume some moves will be made.
Is McDaniels there next year, you think? Is that good for you?
Why would he come back if he wants to, not have to go through a rebuilding process?
Let's go to a phone call here. Dakota in Georgia. What's going on, Dakota?
Another day in paradise. How about y'all?
Hey, man, I wish my voice sounded like that on a day-to-day basis, but it does not. So I just have to listen to folks like you talk and be envious of it. What do you want to talk about, pal?
I wanted to talk about, for the past couple of weeks, I've been hearing you talk about Cincinnati over Georgia in the playoff ranks. They play in the Peach Bowl. I just wanted to place a little wager with you. I know you're a gambling man.
I am gambling.
So I would like to place a bet. If Cincinnati does pull the upset and beat Georgia, I will buy the entire office Domino's molten chocolate cake.
Oh.
No! Uh-oh.
That's a lot of cakes, by the way. It's a lot of minds that like the lava cakes. That's a lot of cakes. You're talking probably 30 to 35 lava cakes.
Yeah.
I believe in the dogs that much.
Okay. And if the dogs somehow win?
I'll let you pick that.
Okay, Dakota. Here, listen. We'll get your number down here from Mitt, and we will keep in touch. Just know that the Bearcats going down to Georgia, and they're looking for a soul to steal, and it's fucking yours, Dakota.
Hell yeah!
Get those lava cakes to the office, stat pal. We need 35 of them things. Yeah. We got to get to a break here on this gorgeous Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, December 22nd. Charles Davis, who is a NFL commentator, also one of the voices of Madden, will be joining us on the other side. Every time he comes on, it's a good conversation.
Oh, yeah.
Energetic. Who's he calling this weekend? Do we know?
I do not know yet.
He's always holding a football. I never ask him about it. You know that?
Just ready.
Whenever they cut to him in the booth, he always holds a football, and he always turns it away from the laces and the label, so it's just a blank football on the other side. I'm going to ask if he does that on purpose. And does he carry that thing the entire game, like when he's making calls? Which, by the way, I like it. I like because by the way, you've seen me. I get a little fidgety, obviously.
Needs a prop.
This, by the way, for people that ask it or watching, it's a ball. I don't know what number it is. There was 100 of them made. They're Adam Vinatieri career highlight balls.
Nice.
And he came in and he gifted it to me. It came in a full package and all that shit. It's pretty cool.
He was dressed nicely when he did it.
He was dressed very nice. Yeah, here we go. This one? This one. Yeah, so it's got all of his records that he has right there, and then I assume these are just his years and how many points and everything. And then this is that goddamn thing of certification. So whenever you guys see this on the internet at some point, that means everything's gone south over here. Amazon, by the way, in my pocket. This thing could end a lot quicker. By the way, a lot of shit coming through. This is my first experience with Amazon.
They'll get you.
What I seen on the picture is not a lot of what's been arriving at the office.
You gotta sift through it.
Were they good ratings?
The comments are very important to read through.
Look at the reviews.
These are things
we should have told.
I mean, Nick told me about the ratings. Nobody said dig into the comments next.
It's all part of the process. You'll get there.
Well, we don't have a lot of time.
Sometimes they pay people to comment.
A couple days.
Here's Vinatieri's records, by the way, if you're wondering. NFL record for most career points. 4-time Super Bowl champ, 3-time Pro Bowler, 3-time first-team All-Pro. NFL record, 44 straight field goals made. I was a part of that. Most seasons with 100 points, most postseason field goals in a career, most points in a postseason career, most field goals in a single postseason. 14 of them, by the way.
3 Pro Bowls seems criminal.
Yeah, it does.
And 3 All-Pros.
Well, yeah, that's what I've been saying this entire time. That doesn't fucking matter. That's why when everybody's like, oh, Pro Bowl snub, I agree. People are Pro Bowl snubs, but we're putting too much power into the awards and titles. Therefore, on the opposite side, if you give it power, that means when it brings you happiness, it's also going to bring you misery. And I had that at some point, but then I saw some bum get voted in ahead of me, and I was like, well, I'm no longer going to empower this title that is worthless to make me feel good or feel bad either way. Now, granted, the bonus that was in my contract to make a Pro Bowl, that was $250,000, that made me happy. But the awards and everything, it's all bullshit.
So what you're saying is Tom Brady is not crying over, missing out on the Pro Bowl this year?
No, but if you're Big Bob Tunyon, who's young and still trying to make it and earn a little credibility, you should be pissed off. But Big Bob Tunyon is a perfect example of what I mean whenever I say that it's all bullshit.
Yep.
All right, we got to get to a break. Charles Davis is on the other side. 1-888-MAD DOG 6. The phone calls. Somebody keep track of Dakota.
Yep. Dakota and Georgia.
Dakota and Georgia is going to owe us 30 to 35 lava cakes whenever the Cincinnati Bearcats take down the Georgia Bulldogs in the Peach Bowl. This is the Pat McAfee Show. Charles Davis on the other side. A perennial Pro Bowler, an All-Pro, a man who's aging like fine wines, Green Bay Packers legend, Super Bowl champion, from Butte, California, ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Rodgers!
Please tell me that that's going to be a one-time thing.
What is the longest you've ever thrown?
Yeah, somewhere between 68 and 70, Pat. I don't know, right in that sweet spot.
69 yards is how far you threw it. Nice, congrats.
Hell yeah! Hell yeah!
Of course you have, by the way. Of course you have. That doesn't get you going for a game? Are you kidding me?
No, but I have a funny Creed story. So, in 2007, we're playing the Dallas Cowboys on Thursday night. We're 10-1. I have long hair. I'm a backup. And before the game, we walked down the field, and I don't know if it was on purpose, but our intro song was Creed with Arms Wide Open. I looked to my buddy Nate Weir, who AJ knows Nate really well, and we both said this is going to be a good night. And that was the night I came in off the bench and played pretty well and kind of changed the narrative about me from, possible draft bust to, hey, this guy might be able to play, maybe.
Thank you, Creed.
Yeah! My kids say, like, oh, if they see him on TV, oh, there's Uncle Aaron, look at that. Oh, Dad, is that Uncle Aaron's dog? I'm like, nah, it's a prop dog. They're like, well, what happens to that? I was like, oh, I think he has it killed after me.
What the hell's wrong with you?
Like, oh, no,
AJ!
no.
I noticed this past Sunday, you were smiling, shaking hands, giving a lot of high fives to the boys on the side. What have you seen in this old footage that has rejuvenated your love? Or is it something else about this 2020 season that seems to have you just in a better headspace?
Why am I having so much fun?
Bingo.
I have just a new and increased love of life. And I've made decisions and changes and habits that put me in a lot better headspace. And there's just a lot of things that have come together in my life over the last few months that have really been enjoyable and reminded me, given me perspective on life and in football to view things through the most positive lens I possibly can. And that's why I'm having so much fun. And it starts with love. And then surround yourself with people that you really enjoy. This show is, to get sentimental, this show is just another step in that, because I love Age so much. And Pat, I have so much respect for you and the boys. Like, this was such a fun opportunity. And now I look forward to this every Tuesday.
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82.
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show here. Aaron Rodgers, Tuesday, December 22nd, 2020. No sponsor today, but we are doing a giveaway with our incredible partners, the greatest fast food chain on planet Earth. Anybody that says anything different is a stooge
and a seller.
You should be proud of you eat at Arby's. And even if you don't eat at Arby's, we have something that could potentially catch your attention. Right now, we are giving away 4 bricks of Arby's gift cards.
Whoa.
Yes, $500 Arby's gift cards. And are they just $10, $50 gift cards stacked on top of each other? Potentially. All you need to know is this thing is thick and it's $500 worth of Arby's gift cards.
Wow.
And right now, you can enter to win one of the 4 bricks we'll be giving away if you go to Twitter and tweet hashtag Arby's is great, space, and then 4 numbers. Okay. You can enter up to 5 times. Go ahead and do it. We will keep track. Hey.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we will.
We will keep track.
Oh, yeah.
There's some people already that entered 15 times. They think we don't know. Well,
Yes,
you're wrong. Hashtag Arby's is great is already trending at like number 6 in the United States. It's only going to be climbing because everybody wants to get a piece of these Arby's bricks. Yeah. We will obviously give away all 4 of these Arby's bricks to somebody that tweeted hashtag Arby's is great, space and then 4 numbers. And we will figure out clever ways to pick the 4 numbers that'll match the winners. Look forward to that. Big shout to Arby's and to the Arby's bricks and to you for listening or watching wherever the hell you may be. Joining us now is a man who's a CBS NFL color commentator. This past week he had the Patriots and the Dolphins. The man holds a football whenever he's speaking at halftime because he knows that sport so damn well. One of the voices of Madden, ladies and gentlemen, Charles Davis.
Yeah!
How you doing?
Hey!
How are you,
How
bub?
are you guys? Happy holidays, first of all, to everyone. Merry Christmas coming up. If you celebrated Hanukkah, I hope Hanukkah was wonderful. And real quick before we begin, I love the Arby's stuff, and you talk about those bricks.
Boom.
That is so cool, because you know what it reminded me of, Pat?
Go ahead.
Karen asking Henry for a stack to go shopping in Goodfellas.
Oh, jeez.
You remember?
Yes. Okay. Now, by the way, I thought that was potentially a biblical story.
No.
It's the complete opposite, actually.
Yeah, I get it. The timing's right.
Yeah.
It should be a biblical story. There should be some frankincense, some myrrh. But I'm going with Goodfellas, trying to make it a Christmas movie, apparently.
Hey.
But remember he said here, and she was like,
yeah.
Another stack, please.
Yeah. Well, and also, it's been following me all day, Cameron. And he was right, by the way. People thought he was freaking out. That helicopter was following him around. And also, an Irish guy getting into the mob. Love Goodfellas, all right? It's a great movie.
Great flick.
Can we talk about what's behind you? Do you have the most decorated office for the holidays out of anybody?
My wife and sister-in-law put this together every year, Pat. We love the holidays, and we realize 2020 has been brutal for so many people.
Mm-hmm.
And we consider ourselves extremely fortunate that we can have this holiday, be together. And I remember a few years ago, Jerry Jones, I heard him talk one time about building AT&T Stadium, Cowboy Stadium. And that was during the Depression. And people were telling him, you got to scale back. And he told us, he said, when people struggle, when the world's struggling, people want nice things anyway, and he built it bigger. He went against the grain and made it bigger and more opulent and nicer because people actually crave those sorts of things if they can actually get to them. And when I was listening to it, I was like, where's he? And then you realize he actually tapped into the right vein. People want to do nice things for themselves to feel better during a very difficult time. So my wife and sister-in-law put this together every year. We have every variety of Santa Claus you can have.
Where's the drunk
thing
one?
We probably don't have is Korean Jesus from 21 Jump Street. So that's about it.
It looks beautiful. Tell your wife and your sister-in-law they did an incredible job. I enjoy the spirit you've brought to this conversation already every time we talk to you. And we'll start talking about the NFL and all the playoff predicaments that could potentially happen over the next couple weeks. But first, I want to talk to you because every time you come on, I forget to ask you about it, and I get so mad. When they cut to you at halftime,
yeah.
You're always sitting there, good lean. By the way, you have a good lean on the desk. It's a good athletic lean. And then you're holding the football. And as you come on camera, you turn the football away. You don't hold the laces. It's like you're hiding the thing. Do you hold that football the entire game? And do you realize that you turn the football while you're doing it? And why do you do it?
I don't hold the football the entire game. I only hold it for the on cameras after the open. Like we do the open, no football.
Okay.
And then halftime or post game, or if we ever come on again, I typically have the football. It's just more of a prop. And the reason I'm turning it, I'm sure, is unconscious. I think that's part of my nerves dissipating into me turning the football. I think that's where it goes. You remember the name Gil Hodges?
Yes.
The manager of the Mets when they won the first World Series, the Miracle Mets.
That's not who I thought it was whenever you said that name, but that is who that is. Okay.
Right. He yawned a lot. And the theory was that his yawning was his outlet for his nerves.
Oh.
That's how it did. And I think for me, twisting the football is probably more like that. I can't twist it like the hefty lefty there in front of you, Jared Lorenzen.
Rest in peace, legend.
Rest in peace. And I actually did some of his games in college. He legitimately scored on a quarterback sneak against Georgia from about the 10-yard line. legit quarterback sneak, not quarterback draw. Sneak from about the 10, and carried a lot of Bulldogs into the end zone. They didn't win that day, but he carried a bunch of guys with him.
Cincinnati Bearcats are going to do that to Georgia in just a few days anyway. Cincinnati Bearcats about to get a big dub over the Georgia Bulldogs. Let's talk about football. By the way, I thought you spun it because like a sponsor got mad at you because it wasn't certain ball. I'm happy to hear that's not the case.
I'm going to come to you to learn how to properly spin it.
Oh, yeah, come on.
To make sure it's the right way for the guy knocking it through the post.
Well, we should. Well, listen, lace is always out. That's on the long snapper, too. You should know that as a commentator, by the way. Long snapper's job to get the laces. Holder's job.
To get the laces right.
Yep, bingo. So yell at the long snapper next time. And I appreciate you do the games well. But you should potentially just sit in there and just, I mean, go ahead and flex that thing.
Yeah.
Well, I think in the first half, the quarterback couldn't do any of this. I mean, they were just throwing the ball in the ground. If you think about it, I mean, it's a real problem. All right, let's talk about football here. Last night, Steelers lose to the Bangles. Have you ever seen a team look that bad after going on a run like that? 11 games won, and not every game was pretty. They were winning some games ugly, but it's hard to win in the NFL. The team had a lot of swag. The early bye week, I think, is coming into play here. I think they're a bit exhausted and tired, but there's no swag. There's no confidence. There's no energy. There's no nothing from that team. It feels like they're potentially dead, Charles, and that's a shame.
Yeah, and it's hard to even say that because of the way they carry themselves as a team, as an organization. No better swag coach than Mike Tomlin leading you.
Yeah.
But things flipped on them very, very fast. Early in the season, they ran the heck out of the football. They ran it well. They ran it in late game situations to close people out, and all of a sudden, can't run the football. Ben has thrown the football well. At one point, he was a legit MVP candidate. Ball was out of his hands faster than it's ever been before. Receivers were taking it, but they also threw it downfield, Pat. We're not seeing them run it now, and I'm not seeing the ball downfield now. So it's two things going along with that. So that's where I see that happening. The defensive side, look, remember that Baltimore game, the first one? They legitimately got outplayed in so many phases, but they took the ball away 4 times. And then made the play they had to make it down the stretch to knock the ball free because that's who they are. They, as you said, not all of them were pretty, but they found ways to win. They almost look gassed right now, and I think you were onto something about the open week. Remember, their original open week got messed up because of Tennessee. Remember the COVID there.
Oh, yeah.
So everything had to change then. And then when next thing you know, you've got the Baltimore situation.
Yep.
And then the game gets pushed to Wednesday. I think that takes its toll on you as much mentally as it does physically. And it'll be interesting to see if they can get any kind of mojo going because Indianapolis visits this week.
Need a win.
And we could potentially have them at Cleveland
Need
for
a
the
win.
division title in Week 17.
Yeah, the Cleveland Browns could lose that game, be 11-5, and not make the playoffs, which would be wild. Diggs laughs there as a Steelers fan, but they always talk about, and everybody talks about how football players are routine-based animals. You know what I mean? Like, that's what we are. Whenever we get in there, we just need a routine. What do we got next? Okay, let's do that. So even if the COVID protocols are in there, all right, I'm getting tested at this time, then I got this meeting, you can add that into your routine. For the Steelers, they didn't know it was a bye week until Friday, I think, of that first week, and then they're like, oh, you go home now and go ahead and take a sleep. And then you have a game on Sunday. No, now it's on Monday. Now it's on Tuesday. I do believe that is potentially exhausting. And now that you get paid a lot of money. Hey, you get to play a kid's game. Okay, so go out there and play. Yeah, figure it out. But these are humans, and that's potentially what they got going on over there.
How many times can you ramp up mentally to go out there without it starting to affect you? And it does. But the beauty of Pittsburgh, you never hear that out of them. Mike Tomlin's not going to permit it. That team's not going to permit it. All they're talking about is we've got to find a way to get this turned around. I am not betting against them getting it turned around, but it looks dire right now because earlier in the season when they weren't running the football, they were still winning games. And they were like, hey, when we throw the little short passes, when we run the jet sweeps, that's part of our running game. I don't think they can use that part anymore. They legitimately don't have a consistent running game, and they've got to have it because they've got to start taking some pressure off of Ben in the short passing game.
All right, Charles, let's talk about the teams that are definitely, going to be in the conversation here. Chiefs, Packers, Ravens, You know, maybe the Ravens, I guess at this point. But Chiefs, Packers, Saints, teams that are going to be in there. Who do you think is going to end up? The Chiefs are the easy answer here because they can just turn it on and beat anybody at any point. But who do you think is really a team that has a chance to get up in there and make a run? You got to remember, Titans last year came out of nowhere. Titans beat the Ravens in Baltimore. Then they have the lead on the Chiefs, and they end up losing that game. But it was still a surprising thing that kind of propelled them into this year. What teams do you think got a chance to really make a run at this thing, Charles?
Let's start on the AFC side, Pat, and you mentioned Kansas City, and one note of caution with them, and it's only a note of caution because I think they're as good as there is right now.
Yeah.
But I think their last 6 ball games have been really by 6-point games.
Yeah, they don't come.
They haven't been just flat-out bluffs. Now, the Miami game may be a little weird because they were jumping on them, and then Miami made the rush late. But you know what I'm talking about. The beauty for them is they've shown they can win those tight games. Now, the team I would be most concerned about on the AFC side is if Baltimore gets in. Because if they get in, they're back being the Ravens. I feel like they're getting that back, where it's almost like earlier in the year, we're going to throw the ball more so we can be prepared for the playoffs, and we're going to do this. And now they're like, forget that. We got to get in. Lamar, go. JK, go. Mark, go. Gus, go. And Calais Campbell got healthy. Defense is going to be better. And their schedule down the stretch tells me that they should finish 11-5 and press someone for that playoff spot. They would be the team I would think no one wants to play. And the second team like that to me is Tennessee. Because it's not just Derrick Henry running it. Ryan Tannehill can throw it and beat you that way too. And that's different than what it's been before for them.
The AFC has a lot of good. Buffalo Bills, obviously a great squad.
It's a loaded side, isn't it?
Indianapolis Colts are starting to
case.
Yeah,
the Indianapolis case you don't want to play any of those teams, really. You could actually make that case like every single one of them. I could tell you, I don't know if you really want to play them right now because they're doing this, this, and this. I'm loving what I'm seeing from the AFC side. The Raiders team, I think, is a team that's just teetering. They're in the hunt, but I don't know that any of us are convinced that they can get there at this point.
Hey, that Ravens team you talked about, there's a team that was confident, by the way. It's like their swag is back. And that might sound like something that's so shallow, but whenever I watch a game and watch a team, I want to see like how they're interacting with each other. I want to see like the energy level because that's telling me what's going on behind closed doors with that team. And whenever you see a team that's back, like the Ravens seem to be back. Like they seem like the team that they were last year, and that's a problem for a lot of people.
Pat, I love that observation, and I'm going to follow it with this one. Dez Bryant felt like a little bit of a gimmick in the beginning. Okay, let's bring Dez back. And, he didn't make it the first time because he wasn't in shape. And now we're giving him a chance. If he catches a ball, hooray, that's great. But did you see the reaction when he scored the other day?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Did you see? And all of a sudden, everybody's throwing the X up. He's not just a guy who's out there now to, hey, I made it back and my kids saw me play. He's a legitimate guy. Let's go Goodfellas. He already was a made man, right? so he's a made man, which to me benefits Mark Andrews at tight end, which benefits Hollywood Brown at wide receiver. And, of course, that running game is consistent now, more than consistent now. So, yeah, it's a big deal, and they've got their energy, and you can see it's fully flowing right now. And I'd be stunned if they don't finish 11-5. Everybody else, you better win your games down the stretch because Baltimore gets in. Woo, that's going to be fun to watch.
I agree. The thought of Baker Mayfield walking in there and going, I don't shine shoes no more. It's just like such a funny, because that Browns team seems to be very different, but that Steelers game, last game of the year, is going to mean a lot. They could be 11-5 and not make the playoffs because how loaded the AFC is. Now on the NFC side, Green Bay Packers seem to be a team on the offensive side that are the most consistent. I don't know if anybody can stop them. It feels like they can go whatever they want, even though the second half of last week's game wasn't fantastic. It feels like their offensive, like the Chiefs, it's like, is their defense good enough, though? Then you start questioning the rest of the NFC. Are the Saints defense what they are all the time or what they were against the Eagles, So I feel like with the defense the Saints have, it feels like that team is a safe run if you want to go, but there's a lot of offenses that can go in the NFC.
There are, and I'll go to where the wild card teams are. despite the fact that Los Angeles had one of the most stunning losses we've seen last week with the Jets.
Hey, Charles, if you're the Jets, by the way, and you hear the opposing team's coach say, I'm embarrassed, I'm sick to my stomach because we lost to that team, is that not just one of the biggest slaps in the face of all time? I am sick to my stomach that we lost.
Win.
Yeah,
you talk about taking your joy from that win, right? Like what? They're embarrassed. Like, what? We're an NFL team, you know.
Yeah.
But what I mean with the Rams is Sean McVay has no ego in calling a game, and what I mean by that is a lot of play callers, as you know, Pat. I think we've talked about it before. They've got their play sheet in front of them. It looks like something from the Cheesecake Factory, right?
Great restaurant, deep.
I love the Cheesecake Factory. The portions, of course, are not good for my waistline, but I love the portions.
There's
But
corn dogs too.
the bottom line is, if it's on that sheet, a lot of guys, I got to call it because I put it on here. If he sees something working, he'll just stay with it. If we're going to run the ball and stay with it, Cam Akers coming into his own now, the whole deal. Where's Green Bay going to have the most trouble, as we saw last year? Teams that are committed and will stay with running the football, because that's what put them out of the playoffs last year, when San Francisco and Kyle Shanahan said, well, you're not stopping it, so I will have Jimmy Garoppolo throw less than 10 times and I'll go to a Super Bowl. Wow. That's where the concern would be still for me with Green Bay.
Wouldn't you fix that in the offseason?
That's really it. I think the Rams can consistently run it.
Charles.
I don't know that New Orleans would stay with it.
Charles.
With New Orleans.
Wouldn't you fix that in the offseason if you're the Packers, by the way?
Well, they didn't draft it.
Wouldn't you? You could, though.
We spent so much time talking about a receiver for Rodgers, and they drafted Jordan Love. Tell me where they drafted linemen on the defensive side of the ball.
Well, how about Patrick Queen? He was still sitting there, too. He could have got Patrick Queen who's making a play.
But big people up front to help Kenny Clark, I thought was a must. I didn't see it. Now, Aaron Rodgers is making up for everything. He's the best perfume I've seen in a long time. He's the best deodorant you've got, because he makes up for so many things, and he is playing at a monster level right now. I just think they're the favorite. To me, they're the favorite because we saw them go to New Orleans and win this year. Seattle doesn't run it like they used to. That would concern me. If Seattle was the old Seattle running the ball, that would concern me if I were Green Bay. But I think it's a much better match for them now. But Tampa Bay, circle them. And if that defense and pressure comes at you, that's going to be a lot of fun to see what happens. And, of course, Kyler Murray in Arizona, they are the Baltimore on the NFC side with the quarterback run game.
Well, yeah, I think they are, but they seem to be so inconsistent, hit or miss. I mean,
they are, but you know how it is, Pat, in the playoffs.
Get hot.
Hit or miss.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Anybody could lose there. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it feels like, it was, I guess, like 7 weeks ago at this point. But that defense we were talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense as if like, hey, Todd Bowles got them boys playing, they're a problem. But if they don't get pressure on the quarterback, the secondary can't keep up. So it's like it all revolves around whether or not you have a good offensive line. Packers have, at this point, very good offensive line. Bakhtiari actually got hurt in that game, by the way. He was out against the Packers when they beat the Packers. I mean, there's just so much to digest in this. The playoffs are going to be awesome this year. Connor, what do you got?
Yeah, Charles, now that the Jets have won a game and lost the first pick, do you think it's the smartest move for them to stick with Darnold or to take Fields at number 2?
I would take another quarterback at 2 and press it. If you have that kind of a grade on him, you've got to do it. Now, whoever they hire, and I hate saying this because, Adam Gase is still in the job, but I'm not going to be that naive and say that that's not a strong possibility, right? Whoever you hire may come to you and say, I've got a plan for him, and here's what it is. But it's going to be really difficult if your grades are high on that quarterback not to make that move, because maybe a fresh start might behoove everyone. Fresh quarterback there, maybe Sam Darnold gets a chance somewhere else and finds it, finds what we thought he would have coming out of school. I don't think all of this is his fault. This has just been a wreck for him along the way.
Yeah.
You get it. And maybe it's somewhere else. He could be in the same market as Carson Wentz, where maybe a different place might be the spot.
Matt Ryan, too, is potentially in that. I mean, there's a lot of money up for grabs there in those potential moving quarterbacks. Whenever you go to the Jets, if you're a head coach interviewing for that job, it's interesting the strategy you're going to have. Do you go in there saying, I think I can make Sam Darnold work? Or do you go in there saying, I think I can rebuild a culture in there? There's two different strategies going into those meetings.
What my strategy would be, Pat?
What's that?
Hey, Joe Douglas, you're the GM.
What do you
Which way we go? I can do both.
I got ideas. I
got a pamphlet here for fixing Darnold. I got a pamphlet here for a rookie quarterback. Which way you want to go? You're the GM. I'm here to work with you.
You ever think about coaching or anything?
I coached for a year at the University of the Pacific in Stockton, California. 1989 season. Walt Harris, a wonderful man, was our head coach. He later was the head coach at Pitt and Stanford. He went to the Fiesta Bowl against Utah with Tyler Palko as his quarterback.
Oh yeah, the lefty, handsome lefty Palko.
On that staff, Pat, Hugh Jackson was coaching running backs, and my roommate was one John Gruden.
Oh, wow. I'll tell you what, man. Hey, I'll tell you what, man. Those guys did pretty good. Now Hugh Jackson's slinging tequila out there. It's very good tequila, by the way. I'm not sure if you've had
Listen, if you're going to do it, do the best. But I'm on a staff with those guys. I learned a ton. I only coached the 1 year before I got back into athletic administration. But my dad was a lifetime coach and a teacher. And it took years into my broadcasting career before my father quit saying to me, "You're going to get your teaching certificate? That's a good thing to have, son, because, you can do that. You can impact." Because I come from a line of teachers, and I think I let my old man down by not becoming one.
No, now you're teaching the world.
Yeah.
Hey, now you're teaching the world.
Yeah. He's living with it now.
Yeah, and by the way, with Madden, you're teaching them how to potentially become a better game because the Madden community is obviously upset about it. You're one of the most.
I'm working on it.
Yeah,
we work on it all the time. We do our part. Me and Brandon Gaudin.
That's what we're talking about.
Thank you, Charles.
Hey, you're the man, Charles Davis. We appreciate you so much for joining us, bub.
Hey, appreciate you guys as always. Thanks, everyone. And you guys are just flat out terrific. And I love how Aaron talked about the love. And when I heard that, I was at George the Iceman Gervin's Hall of Fame speech in Springfield, Massachusetts when he went in. And George Gervin's speech consisted of this. It's all about love, man. It's all about love. And then he name-checked all his boys from Detroit who showed up. Pooch, Ray, Lorenzen. It's all about love. It's all about love. The Iceman, the coolest cat I've ever met in my life. Yo, man, it's all about love.
Well, hey, we love whenever you come on here. We appreciate you. Have a great holiday.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. And Martin stayed very quiet for us today.
Yeah, I can't. Is this him?
He does say hello.
Oh! There he is, the face behind the bark.
Martin.
Hey, he's a great dog. Martin, what's going on?
There you go. There you go.
You look good.
Right.
Hey,
bye, guys.
Hey, Charles Davis. Appreciate you. Dogs everywhere, by the way. We just kind of.
Hello. Here, boy.
If we could ring a bell, too, maybe like a doorbell. Yeah, really appreciate everybody listening and watching. Let's make your life a fucking living hell real quick. Charles Davis is awesome, man. He's so cool. He's so genuine. Just feels like a genuine. In the line of teachers, makes a lot of sense. It feels like that's who we're talking
He's like the best broadcaster in the game at the moment, I'd argue.
He's very good. There are a lot of people that should not be calling games, though.
Yeah.
But hey, you live and you learn.
He gets excited.
He enjoys the game.
Yeah, he's not afraid to be real, too, which is a big thing.
Yeah, anytime you're covering a game, you're going to say some dumb things. I mean, it's going to happen. You're on live TV. Everybody does it or whatever. But there's some people who are just like, what are they doing?
One after the other, just shit pouring out of their mouth. I mean, it's just like, hey, turn it around.
Will there be one good point made? Nope.
No, I guess not.
Let's go to Mill in Arizona. What's going on, Mill?
Hey, Pat. I got to get this out. I know you've heard enough about Carson Wentz. I want to know, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, everybody thinks he's potentially broken, Mill. That's a great question. And Orlovsky hinted at some things he's heard behind the scenes, right? And Orlovsky, I feel like, does have connections, okay? Orlovsky has connections.
Oh, yeah.
He'll try to... He tries to say things without saying exactly what somebody told him because I don't think he wants to out anybody for saying anything. But whenever he said the stuff that he was hearing behind, he said, does he want to play football anymore or anything like that? I wonder. Like, I really do wonder what's going on with Carson Wentz because he's broken. He's broken. And was it them drafting Jalen Hurts that made him go, oh, am I not good enough? And then all of a sudden that kind of set him into a spiral of questioning everything on whether or not he even enjoys football anymore. Does he want to? Because earlier, remember, whenever you're watching him early in the season, it was like he didn't want to take a hit. He was throwing the ball. It was like very bad. It looked like he didn't want to take it. Then he started getting slaughtered, and then he started just throwing the ball to the other team on. It was just, It's just been an interesting thing. And I'm not saying that he can't be good at football again. I have just said that I don't want him to be an Indianapolis Colt while he tries to get better at football because we have a team that we can go for it right now, and we shouldn't just be like waiting to see whether or not a guy's going to get fixed again. I think Carson Wentz is a great football player before. Obviously, Nick Foles got a statue there. They drafted another quarterback. There could be a lot of things going on mentally for him. But the issue with him is there's a lot of money coming alongside of him if anybody was to trade for him, and that could potentially be a problem.
It was just 12 months ago that everyone was praising him for getting the Eagles to the playoffs with wide receivers that were off the practice squad and been with the team for like 3 days. Like that was 12 months ago.
I got my name thrown into a trash bag. Yeah. Because of how good he was playing by Dan Orlovsky on ESPN, lying about something that I said, by the way.
Of course.
I did not say what he said I said on air. Now, did I potentially look at Dan whenever he was going on a Carson Wentz run back behind the scenes to potentially stir the pot and kind of get it going, Dan, Carson Wentz stinks. And just to see what he does, maybe. But on air, I never said that because I understood he was up against it with all the injuries they had. And then he takes my name and then he crumples it up and throws it in a trash bag as if he's some Carson Wentz hero out there. It's like, Dan, we don't need that, okay? But now Dan's even like, he can't be there anymore. He's got to get out of there.
I mean, I get, like, they haven't done that much to surround him with talent and everything, but, I mean, does the guy look at film? Is he in the playbook? I mean, every time I go to his Instagram, I see him trying out his new Z-turn and 22 gauge with his brother. Son of a bitch cares more about hunting than he does about anything else in his life.
No, he cares about his family more than he cares about hunting.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't see his wife out there on the hunting trip.
Yeah. Well, it's faith, family, hunting, football.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, well, exactly. Football's on the ass end of the list there.
Let's go to Justin in Cincinnati. What's going on, Justin? It's unbelievable.
Boy, how you guys doing today?
Hey, I'm doing fantastic. How's Cincinnati feeling today? Got to be pretty good. You got a football coach. You have no idea if he can coach a football team or not. Get a big win on Monday Night Football and just shit all over the Pittsburgh Steelers, a division rival over there in Cincy.
I tell you what, the weather's great. Enjoying me some vitamins. Enjoying some sports talk this morning, unlike any other damn day of the year.
Yeah, you're right. Because sports
what
talk.
Do you guys think that, for one, if you checked on your people in Pittsburgh, is it on fire right now?
It is. It is.
Turning into Mason Rudolph.
They got Ben Rudolph playing quarterback. It's Merry Christmas.
Rudolph's there wearing number 7.
Oh, wow.
Darren, watch your fucking mouth.
Wow. This is Justin.
My question is, do you guys really think Zach Taylor will be around next year?
Did Zach Taylor save his job last night is what Cincinnati
They were
has.
pumped.
Oh, yeah.
Because his name was not up for potentially getting fired or whatever. You went on Monday Night Football, you beat the big bad Steelers. All of a sudden, Zach Taylor's like, you know what, maybe we got this thing figured out. Yeah, we get frostbite whenever we practice, unlike any other team, because we don't have an indoor practice facility. And yeah, we've been trying to win for a long time. We haven't been able to do it. And yeah, our franchise quarterback got slaughtered weeks on top of weeks before inevitably ending his season. But you know what? This is the guy. He beat the Steelers on Monday night. I think Zach's got, 2, 3, maybe 6 more years out of that.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Good for them.
Let's not forget they beat the Titans, too. I mean, you look at Taylor's record this year.
Man.
Yeah, they're 3-10-1, but beat Vrabel and Tomlin in the same season? Come on.
Who they say gonna coach them Bangles better? Better. Nobody knows. Maybe Marvin Lewis.
Maybe.
Maybe Marvin Lewis.
Bring him back.
Bring him back. Jim Caldwell's interviewing for jobs.
Yes, he is.
Bring him back to the NFL. By the way, that Texans gig where there's not a lot of money or draft picks or the team's getting tanked, Jim Caldwell's the perfect guy to go in there and kind of handle that whole business. That's a perfect guy to kind of go in there. I believe he's probably going to get more interviews. He said he lost a bunch of weight too. I'm excited to see what he looks like on the other side of this thing. I love Jim Caldwell. Got a chance to play for a team with him coaching. I was a big Jim Caldwell fan.
Now, I've never met either of them, but judging by both of them off of what I've been told from everyone, it seems like him and Deshaun Watson, their personalities would match very well.
Yeah, Jim Caldwell gets along with, I think, anybody, by the way. Jim Caldwell is just, he's very opposite me. We got along pretty well. He got along with, he's a business guy.
Even keel.
Like, hey, listen, we're coming to work. This is what we do. We're going to enjoy this. We're going to be the fastest, freshest team on there. After a win, okay, good work. We did it. Let's get back to work. After a loss, okay, hey, we got to clean it up. Let's go ahead and do it. That type of steadfast, I think, could be used in a lot of facilities right now. That type of mindset. And he's a good communicator. Like, I think the way he tells stories behind closed doors, I'm a big Jim Caldwell fan. And as I've gotten older, looking back on Jim Caldwell, the way he handled his business, I think the more and more I've respected it. As opposed to like when I was in it, there wasn't a thought like, oh, this guy's the greatest coach I've ever had. And I have not gone through that entire thing because I played a lot of sports at a lot of different levels and everything like that. But as I get older and I understand the NFL a little bit more, Jim Caldwell is a coach, I think, that got bamboozled, and he's like exactly what you're looking for in certain situations. Sometimes you're going to need a hype guy, I guess. Some teams need that or whatever, and I'm not saying that isn't a style of winning, but Jim Caldwell just being a consistent individual, which is what he is, one of the most consistent humans I've ever seen, could be good for some of these places that have become complete disasters around the NFL.
Yeah, I would assume there's some value for, especially like with like a young team like that. If they do just hire some young guy, he gets in there and can't really get it going, like things could just implode. But if you have a guy who's been there, done it before, he can kind of right the ship and get them where they need to go.
And expectations down there in Houston can't be that high.
Right.
Right? You got no draft picks for 7 years? You don't have a single draft pick for the next 10 years. You got zero salary cap, and you got your quarterback locked into a $200 million deal. Not that you wouldn't want that. But in all those numbers, obviously exaggerate. I shouldn't joke about that. But it is one of those things where that team, I don't know what the expectations are. It feels like Jim Caldwell would be a great hire. Who's going to be the GM, though? So if you hire Jim Caldwell, then Jim Caldwell should be in the conversation for who the GM is, just like Matt Rule down in Carolina. Matt Rule has come out and said, I do not want to be the GM, but I like that the owners are potentially going to talk to the coaches and say, hey, who do you want to do your day-to-day business alongside, and your success will ultimately be measured aside. That's a good way to operate business. But that Easterby guy, I guess, is just down there trying to ruin things. So maybe he'll hire Jim Caldwell.
Bring in Lombardi.
Joining us on the other side for a 15, 20-minute conversation because they are working today because they're getting Christmas off on Friday. The MVP favorite in our eyes, the quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, the GOAT, if you want to have those conversations. Aaron Rodgers joins us on the other side alongside AJ Hawk. Cannot wait to chat with them about life and everything. You got about 6 minutes on this December 22nd. We'll see you on the other side. Why is football the greatest sport on earth? And do you think football is the greatest sport on earth? And why do you like football?
That's a really deep question there, Pat.
I know. I think I can get a good answer out of you, though. Like, I think you'd be able to talk about it in a way that I think a lot of people haven't because you've been at the pinnacle of it for so damn long and inside of it, and your brain is a pretty fantastic one. We've learned here over the last few weeks, obviously. Last few weeks, that's it. That's all the time we've learned that.
I think it's the greatest sport in the world for one main reason. It is a true team sport where it is damn near impossible for one person to dominate an entire game. And if you look at other team sports, basketball with 5 guys on the court, I think you've seen multiple players over the years. Maybe one player, maybe 1 or 2 players on a squad be able to dominate and win championships. Baseball, you can have a dominant pitcher and win championships. Soccer, you can have a dominant forward and or goalie. That seems to be a little more of a team sport, but you don't have 11 players engaged at the same time on every play. It is truly a sport reliant on every player on the field to do their job in order to be successful. And I think that's why at times, certain star players can get maybe too much credit and maybe too much blame on the flip side, because it does take so many players at the same time in 3 phases to win football games. And I think that's the beauty and the draw of our sport, is that something new happens all the time, because you are literally dealing with 11 humans on the field at one time who all have lives outside of football, and there's distractions, there's a reliance on coaching, there's a reliance on preparation, there's a reliance on diet and performance. I just think there's so many facets to it that you see something new every single week, and I think that's the beauty in our game. When it comes to the love that I have for it, it's rooted, and I think like any player who's played for a long time, the love is not just about our sport, it's about competition. And I think there's nothing in the world for me that fills that need and that hole I have like competition. I think players who play for a long time at a high level, you have that need to be satiated competitively, and it's a love of going out there and going against guys and being in an environment where you know that nothing is guaranteed. And that's why at times I've taken umbrage to people saying that it's easy, because it's not easy. It's never easy. And I think that's the beauty in our game, is that you see things new every single week. It's never easy. and your only thing you're guaranteed is the ability to compete. I love that aspect of it. I love competing. I love going out there and harnessing the fear of failure, where I think so many people who maybe don't love football as much, the root of that is a deep fear of failure, that you might go out there and your best might not be good enough, and that's not okay with you. A couple people, one college kid, took a shot at my swag.
We noticed. We know. We don't like that kid.
I don't think a lot of people understand what swag is. Some of this younger generation thinks, swag is just like the clothes I wear or whatever. No. Swag is a mentality. Yeah. Swag is a mindset. I tried to tell this to some of the guys in the locker room this week. I said swagger, which is what swag comes from. Swagger is a mindset. Swagger isn't that you have a Supreme backpack on. Or that you have your shoes, unlaced walking around with, you got your new Louis fanny pack that you make sure it's not worn at your waist, it's worn over your shoulder. That's not swag. That's not swagger. That's fashion choices. True swag is owning your inner essence. It's a mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And my essence on the field is that I feel like I'm a throwback player and I'm a tough guy. What I've played through, how I wear my stuff, I'm kind of a no-nonsense, straightforward. To me, that's what swag is all about.
You're damn
all
right.
This like fake swag out there. I got my special towel. I got this. I got that. I got this writing out there. A lot of you guys are just posing.
All right.
This a mixtape popping from the press gate. Out the shit's creek, short of call to catch weight. This the real deal, Holyfield without a deal. Holding up the status quo, start the fire, yeah. Bonafide, fly, bad guy floating in the sky. Skip it with the beat like a coaster on a ride. Remedy, repeat, feed the focus, come alive. Kill them in they sleep if they wake up galvanized. Tally high up the ladder, sayonara, see you later till...
I didn't think I could continue to be an FCC regulated person without really hitting my max potential.
And that's why he's with us. I love it. The Pat McAfee Show on Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82.
Welcome back to the show here on this Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, December 22nd, 2020. The man's got to work here soon, so let's get right into it. Joining us now is a man who's our MVP, not only on the field, but off the field. Super Bowl champion and legend of a man. And alongside him, another legend and Super Bowl champion. Ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Rodgers and AJ Hawk. Thank you for joining us, boys. Great to see you. Aaron Rodgers Tuesday is always a beautiful thing. But today, and I had saved this until now, because I think you two will be able to give a little bit more of a personal side of this thing. Let me lead off here. When I was a kid, my parents took me to Steelers training camp. Okay, as a little child, love going to Steelers training camp. Get the sun on my face. My parents enjoyed us, got us out of the house, and they didn't have to pay attention to us for a while. And afterwards, there was always a signing that happened or pictures taking. And Kevin Green was the last guy that was there one of the days that I went. And I never asked for pictures with anybody. My dad or my brother, somebody was like, "Oh, go get a picture with that guy. Take a picture with me." He was so nice. He high-fived me. And then I kind of became a fan from that day forward. And I never got to know him personally, but anytime I watched him on the field, he was electric. In wrestling, he was magnetic. Off the field, I've heard these incredible stories. Yesterday, he passes away. Rest in peace to a legend. I know he won a Super Bowl in Green Bay with you two. Aaron, I'll lead off with you, obviously. Rest in peace to an absolute living legend, huh, Kevin Green?
Yeah, it's the second coach that has passed this year that has been a part of our staff over the years. John Rushing, who was with us for a number of years, and I spent a lot of time with John as he was an offensive assistant for a long time. He passed earlier this year. And then yesterday, I got some texts from some former coaches as well who alerted me. KG was one of those special guys, man. Just you loved having him around. There's so many stories of him. You know, Age used to always joke with him about doing a bunch of roids back in the day, being a wrestler. But at his heart, man, he's such a great human. I mean, he's such a sweet guy, intense, you know, always talking about Cobra Strike, and, you know, he got that voice, and it's basically he was taking, you know, his personality, it seemed like in the ring was the exact same personality that he coached with, and just a sweet guy. He used to love like playing pre-practice catch with me and Matt Flynn. And I remember, especially in 2010, he would get out there early and love playing catch with Matt, and he would commentate the entire thing like, you know, like, nice shot, like, oh, sweet. Everything was the sweetest ever. Oh, if I didn't catch, he would have broke my face. You know, he's just literally a kid in a candy store playing pre-practice catch with Matt Flynn. And I used to just love to get out there and just watch him and just listen to what he was saying. But he was instrumental in what we did that year. Such a fun guy. We used to go back and forth and give each other shit and inside jokes at practice. But just so much fun to be around. Great wife who sang the anthem at our stadium a few times. Got to know his kids, especially Gavin. Gavin was working in the equipment room a couple of the training camps. You know, definitely will miss him, and it's definitely a big loss for the sports world, and for anybody who was around Kevin just knows how special he was.
By the way, it feels like, and thank you for that, I just felt like I got to learn. It feels like yesterday, although everybody was sad, there was just like these incredible stories coming out of it from the wrestling world. People were like, man, when he was around, just everybody was lifted. AJ, was he a hands-on coach with you day to day?
Well, so KG coached outside backers, so I was playing inside in the 3-4. So I actually was able to become, I think, closer with him because he wasn't my direct position coach. You know that, Pat, how you can see to have like a better, not better, but in the moment, because he's not the guy grading my film. And KG sat right next to me, so I was on the aisle of our defensive meeting room. He was sat in a chair on the steps right next to me, and just he would always lean over if he saw. He loved finding things that nobody else would see, like on film, like in practice. If I went downhill and dug out a puller or something and blasted him, but then somebody else made the play or in a game, he would just lean over like, A to the J. I saw that. And he called me A to the J for whatever reason, and I loved it. It was the greatest thing ever. But, he's such a rare dude to mix like a Hall of Fame player, and he's also like the most high-character dude on the planet. It's just it's unreal. Like, it's terrible. It sucks. Like, his family's amazing. I remember his wife singing the anthem. KG was saluting. I think he was crying a little bit. Like, yeah, just overall one of the best humans ever.
All right. Well, rest in peace to KG. Job well done. It sounds like from every human in every single particular part of the world that met him. I wish I got a chance to be in a locker room with a man that had A to the J. I saw that. Like, I wish I could have been there for that. That would have been incredible. Aaron, short week here with the holiday. We appreciate you joining us. No, time's going to come up pretty quick here, but I wanted to talk to you about a couple things that happened on Saturday. Was Saturday game weird at all? Change your life at all last week?
I mean, it was strange, the short week, and the defense that we played was a different alignment than most teams you're going to see in the league. A lot of dime personnel, a lot of 3-3-5 kind of sets, some weird fronts, and so really making it hard on your points in the run game. And their plan was to take Devontae out. They didn't really single him up much of the game. So, you know, we ran the ball really well. Jonesy had a big game. We just hit a lull there in the third quarter and couldn't quite get things back going. But, you know, it's a good win for us. Any win at this point of the season is important. We, you know, obviously got some help from the Jets and the Chiefs over the weekend. And, you know, we have a lot to play for the last couple weeks.
You guys did drop in the power rankings, though. I want to let you know you guys did. I mean, you might have got some help from those two teams, but you guys dropped in the power rankings. One more quick one here. The belt came back. I mean, not a lot of enthusiasm, but the belt did come back while you're getting crowned. So I want to let you know, just a big thank you to me before AJ gets to his question.
Yeah, I want to go to the belt. What made you bring it back? Like, okay, did you think of Pat or Nick or any of the boys, or maybe Ty when you did the belt or before?
Ty, yeah, definitely Ty. You know, I think there've been some conversation on the squad about my rushing touchdown from the previous week and how, guys give me some shit for being too tired to, really celebrate it all. So this week I wasn't as tired. It was a shorter drive and a shorter run. I really just moved him in the pocket and there was nobody around. So I felt like that could be a good time to do something. I was running kind of all over the place. I, thought I had a run solution on one play and it turned into like a QB lead draw. And if, Jonesy had made a block, I might have scored. Might have been 50-yard rushing touchdown.
I thought AJ was going to ask you about this immediately upon seeing it on television. Are you just going to eat those smelling salts, huh? You had one, maybe the closest I've ever seen one to somebody's nose, and your face didn't change at all. Normally the eyes go, the whole face goes. You seem to just be like, yeah, all right, that's good, and then just walk out there. Is that a every game tradition? And how can you just eat ammonia like that?
Well, Pat, I'm sure, because you probably snorted some of those over the years, but each one is a little different. Some of the ones are really, really strong, and you can barely get it up to your nose, and you're just, and then some of them they don't have the same type of potency. So it just depends. That one probably didn't have a lot of potency, but most of the time you're really, really kind of waking up on those. I only do those every now and then when maybe it spends a little bit of time on the bench or something. I need a little
the wakey wake. How you doing? Keep it moving, especially with no crowd. I would assume the ammonia has been a tag team for a lot more people than expected. Ty's got a great question. I'm pumped for this answer too, by the way.
Yeah, Aaron, we all saw that Zadarius Smith got Preston Smith a new car. Were you kind of orchestrating that, so that you could it's like, hey, Bakhtiari, stop being a cheapskate. You see what these guys are doing. Maybe get me my car for Christmas.
Not necessarily, but indirectly, I think it's really helped me. Just the added pressure that's put on Dave. I will say it's been great to see that rekindling of the Smiths. They used to do every press conference together. They're the Smith bros. And then, P's been giving Z some shit about not doing the interviews together anymore. It's because of Zoom and I guess they're asking P too much about why he was dropping, more than he wanted to. So they stopped doing interviews together. But I think everything is, really good now, and they're definitely gelling together after that car thing. And I think it's just an example of what it can do for relationships.
Yeah.
When somebody, spends a little bit of money on their teammates.
Well, and that's something that Bakhtiari should definitely think about. And I think that's a good example by your teammates to lead into this giving season, especially if you're the highest paid guy ever at your position. And that's just something to think about. Let's talk about a guy, though, that kind of got screwed in the back. Big Bob Tunyon. You know what I mean? I don't believe in Pro Bowl snubs. Specifically because if you believe in those, then you believe in the Pro Bowl to begin with. And if you put too much power in fake awards, you can't really. And I've been snubbed enough to get to this point, right? It had to happen a couple different times where I was like, all right, this is all bullshit if I didn't make it. And you kind of get to that at some point. But as a younger guy trying to make his name, a Pro Bowl is a big deal for a guy. Big Bob Tunyon has had a hell of a year, 10 tuds, the whole thing. He didn't make it, but I would assume you're telling him, it does not matter. Let's just go ahead and win a Super Bowl instead. Is that your message for Big Bob?
That would be. I haven't talked to him about it yet. I think I was surprised by Elton making it, not because he didn't deserve it, just because young guys don't usually make it in the year they should make it a lot of times, because they might not have the same name recognition that is needed to get in. And you see that every single year. There's guys who make it based on the meritocracy and guys who make it based on their name recognition. And I don't understand, why Bob didn't get in. It was, in my opinion, a no-brainer, especially, look at the NFC, and there's a lot of good tight ends, but with Kittle being out most of the season, and then Bob's numbers this year, having 10 touchdowns and playing so consistently for us every week, I thought he might even be the starter. So, yeah, I'm bummed out for him, because the individual awards are, they do feel good, even if it's the Pro Bowl. Obviously, the All-Pro is, is a little sweeter. Just ask Bakhtiari about that, I think, but the Pro Bowl, especially for young guys being able to go out there for the first time, is pretty sweet. And there's no game this year, but Robert definitely deserved it.
Hey, do you feel like you are solely responsible for landing Scott Stapp that role as Frank Sinatra in the upcoming Ronald Reagan biopic?
Comeback season for Scott Stapp. Yeah, comeback season.
What a great year, right? Like a lot of pub with the. The recycling of that halftime show that he did. Kyle Brandt had him on his podcast. Yep. A lot of people got to see, how my man is doing now in 2020, 20 years from being the guy in all of America. And now he's going to play Sinatra.
Come on.
I mean, it's been a tough year for a lot of people. Scott Staff's not one of them.
Before we let you go, and you can't thank you enough, do you view yourself kind of like a stand-up comedian?
No.
Okay, let me tell you why. Your delivery of the same answers numerous times has been amazing to watch on an NFL Instagram Live. It was unbelievable. You hit a home run on there with Kay, by the way. I watched that whole interview. I was so damn impressed by both of you guys.
Well, I'm not a repeating robot, cliche-ridden interview, and I think that's why some people enjoy this show. You guys enjoy having me on. I enjoy this show because it's, way more than what you usually get from some of the interview type shows. But Kay's really good. I mean, I think they do a great job, and I meant what I said about. I think the beauty in their show, and I love all four of them, is that they really do use positivity. In a world where negativity sells, they consistently use positivity to highlight people and don't need to thrash people or go after people to try and get clicks. And I think there's a lot to be said for that. And I did appreciate that interview with her. And I think that's what people ultimately want to see. They don't want to see a bunch of like one game at a time, take care of things I can control. They want to see some authenticity and some realness, and I appreciate the opportunity, like I do every single week on this one. But negativity sells, and I don't know if you saw it, but I saw a little 4-minute video that Dana White put out today.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think some of the points that he highlighted, besides obviously the fact that UFC's had a good year, but negativity is at the heart of way too much media coverage, and that's why I do appreciate. Good Morning Football. That's why I love what you guys do in your show, because you don't need to bash people or slam people or have a 30-minute bitch sesh where you take a side and H takes a side and Ty has a side and one of the other boys has a side, and you just go round and round and round. I think it's beautiful that we can talk about things. We can highlight great humans and do it in a way that can still get people to watch the show and enjoy it and love it. I think that's what we need more of in society, is more positivity and love, and less, clickbait and negativity and slamming people to try and, get people to watch a snippet of your video. So kudos to you guys, your staff. Obviously, I have a lot of respect for both you two gentlemen and the boys. And, in a Christmas year, coming off of Thanksgiving, where I think it's important to really think about the blessings that we do have and not focus on what we don't have. I am very thankful for you guys, for this show, for the opportunity to have this Tuesday the entire year. It's been so much fun for me. And I'm not going to say that it's the reason why we've played so well and I've had a good season, but I can definitely say that it's been a positive contributor the entire year. And I do have a lot of thanks and gratitude for that.
Aaron, thank you, Aaron.
Thank
no,
you.
Don't you thank us. Thank you, Aaron. Okay, thank you for coming on the show. We appreciate you on here. I feel like I've learned so much about not only you, but life and football. And the negative way is easy, by the way. It's a pretty easy, like people think it's like what we do is the easiest thing. And I do hear this from executives in the world about how whenever you try to be funny or upbeat or entertaining, like that's an easy way to do it. Whenever you got to do the professional, like that shit's easy. So whenever people start taking the negative route, just know that that's them taking the easy way out as opposed to highlighting things that are positive and making riveting content. And every single Tuesday you come on here, the whole world reacts to it because of how incredible you are. So thank you for coming on our show. And as a follow-up, do you think that because you care about winning the MVP award that the Packers are potentially going to lose football games? I mean, it is embarrassing to think like that. You care about winning the MVP and said it would be cool. So that's how this conversation ends for sure, dude. See ya.
Yeah, sorry for Karen.
That happened last week, by the way. Have a great practice. We appreciate the hell out of you, man. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. We'll see you next week. Good luck.
Thanks, guys. Love you guys, and hope I get my vanquish. So,
hey, we love you too, man. Aaron,
love you, pal.
Thank you, Aaron. By the way, him getting attacked for saying it would be cool to win the MVP. It was awesome. It was one of the most awesome things I've ever seen. This fucking guy can't say it'd be cool to win the MVP or it'd feel good to win the MVP, and now they're talking about. Does he care if the Packers win? Whoa, what a wild time to be alive. AJ, KG was a cool dude, huh?
Yeah, he's the man. Like, absolutely the man. I sent him when he got inducted into the Hall of Fame, I sent him. I had this big knife, and I had it engraved with 2 cobras striking each other, and then his Hall of Fame number underneath and his name and everything. And he was so juiced. I sent it down to Florida where he was living.
A to the J, man. That's that knife with the cobras.
Oh, yeah.
He was just.
I used to rough him up. I used to rough him up on the sidelines because he'd always be the first one out there to celebrate, like after a big 3-and-out or something. And I would run over and start like forearm him in the neck and arms and just roughing him up. And he'd go, whoa, whoa, whoa. And then he'd see that are we going to do this? Like, he'd be like, and then afterwards, be like, A to the J. You're going to bruise me, man. It's too bad. You got to stop. He was the man. Everything about him.
Let's get to a break. We'll be back on the other side of some phone calls, more conversations with the AJ Hawk. I mean, Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, December 22nd, obviously a little bit shorter, but what a holiday spirit that was.
Yeah,
awesome.
That was pretty cool, huh?
Quite the gift.
It was. What I was saying about the NFL Live, although I did enjoy the conversation, there was a lot of just like, you know.
Hey, I tell you what, though, Good Morning Football should clip that part where he's talking for about 2 minutes about their show and run that all over the place.
We watch it every morning. It is a very positive show.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
There's some segments that are tough to get through, but it is very positive. And by the way, if you have to shoot 100 baskets, at some point the hoop's going to move on you.
Yeah,
right. But that is a very positive show. I like the way they've been able to keep it that way too. You would think at some point somebody would come in and be like, all right, we need to start burying some more people. But the league's like, hey, you guys want to be known as the Happy Bunch? Go ahead and fucking do it on our network. That's be good. I enjoy them. A lot of talented people, a lot of jobs coming out of that, which they deserve, by the way. Big thanks to Aaron Rodgers. We're back on the other side. You need to enter to win an Arby's brick, by the way. AJ, have you entered yet?
I have not. What do I need to do?
Oh, you need to tweet hashtag Arby's is great with a space and then 4 numbers. Any 4 numbers. And you automatically enter into potentially winning one of these Arby's bricks, which is $500 in gift cards.
What?
So Arby's, greatest fast food chain on earth.
Jeez.
It's enough for a week.
Yeah. Month
Wow.
for some people. For us, probably a week. Anyways, we're back on the other side. This is the Pat McAfee Show with AJ Hawk. Let's test out this Sharon! Proper footy. Seems like it has a bigger sweet spot. That's the greatest sport on earth right there. Aussie rules football, also known as footy, AFL. My first time bombing in official shorts that are a little bit restricting. I think I lost a ball, to be honest. Might be a Lance Armstrong situation down here, but I can see why this sport is beloved, because those balls fly. Need to get down to Australia, meet up with the Magpie boys, and finish out this AFL season as maybe its biggest fan in America. Let's have a day. I don't even know what that means.
Great movie.
The Hammers. It
West
makes
Ham
sense.
United.
We're the
Why is
Hammers.
Connor here?
Connor, what do you got?
Look, man, okay? You bet against Bill Belichick last week, and he came down and he broke that fucking hammer. And now you're going to come in here and you're going to bet on the fucking Jets on Monday Night Football. What the fuck? What the hell? Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? What happened? That's not gonna happen. Do not believe this fucking bullshit. They will not lose 5 in a row. They will cover. I can't believe the gore fucking do that after last week. God damn it. With that being said, I also like at plus 9,000 Damian Harris to score a rushing touchdown and to score a receiving touchdown. 20 to win, 1,800. And if you bet on the fucking Jets, let me know, because you're fucking wrong and you're losing money tonight. Damn it.
What a promo.
Hammer.
Yeah.
Do not talk about
Pat McAfee.
Do not talk about
Pat McAfee.
One fight at a time, fellas.
The Pat McAfee Show.
That's right.
Welcome back. Myself and A to the J Hawk.
A to the J, yeah.
A lot of people are pumped to hear those Kevin Green stories on the internet, by the way.
There's 10 million of them. There's legit, like, my buddy's a strength coach at Marshall. He was an assistant strength coach in Cincinnati my 1 year there. He texted me yesterday and he said, "Hey man, so sorry. I thought of you as soon as I heard KG died." And I remembered, I was like, oh, you're right. Those guys, the strength staff in Cincy, probably once or twice a week would come to me and ask me to tell them Kevin Green stories. That's the impact that dude has.
Hey, in the wrestling world, by the way, same thing. Some of the guys that were around at WCW are still around with WWE now. Whenever I'm obviously making the transition over there, the noted Kevin Green, LT, like all the football, not a lot of Gronk talk because it was so quick, but the noted football transition, everybody, because the WWE people have been around a long time, long time, you know what I mean? So anytime they're like, oh, when Kevin Green was over at W, and they just go into stories, and everybody while they're telling the stories, by the way, has like a smile on their face and like the energy is automatically lifted. That's the type of life you want to live, I think. If every time somebody tells a story, they're like, you remember when, and then their immediate energy just gets lifted. I think that is something. I wish I would have met him, aside from that one time when I was a child and I took a photo with him, but I can't find the photo. But his hair was glorious. I mean, that's why I remember. Golly, wish we could have pulled. Speaking of your 1 year at Cincinnati, your loyalties and allegiances to the Bengals is something that is very noted whenever we talk about this, because you were born and raised a diehard Bengals fan. Last night, Pittsburgh Steelers, the entire city of Pittsburgh and all of their fans, Diggs, Nick, Foxy, all the other people that cheer for the Steelers. I mean, it was a heartbreaker last night. They looked terrible. But on the flip side, Zach Taylor probably saved himself, 4 or 5 years as a head coach over there?
At least. It sure seems like it, doesn't it? I mean, I guess I was just waiting for Pittsburgh to turn it on. And it never really happened. And I'm starting to worry that it's never going to happen.
Yeah, because like the Buccaneers, we should probably call him back, by the way, get the reconnection. I heard you here that you broke up there, by the way. And there's nothing AJ hates more, by the way, than poor connection or poor audio sound. He hates it. Whenever somebody tweets, like, will you get AJ a new camera? It's like, well, we've actually been through a lot of cameras because AJ, and that's like one of his, what are those things that annoy you?
Pet peeve.
Pet peeve is that whole thing. So as soon as, by the way, he was about to give an answer there, and then as soon as he heard a little bit of a breakup there, you could see him get infuriated with the fact that it was happening and he didn't want to be a part of it. We'll call him back. But the Cincinnati Bengals, I mean, beat the Pittsburgh Steelers last night. Ryan Finley looked like an old pro. That's that Steelers defense.
Guy can move.
I mean, TJ Watt is an absolute stud. Okay, potential defense player of the year. They're good. And there's other playmakers on that side of the ball. But at some point, and Diggs, you mentioned this during the break, what if they did just become like the Bears?
Yeah, last night when I was watching it, I was like, oh my God, this is the Nick Foles Bears. Like, this offense is terrible. They can't run the ball, just like the Bears could. And then the defense, they play great, and then they
get sick of carrying the team. Are the Steelers' defense, are they upset about how poor the offense is? Is something you have to start asking at this point? Yes, you think so?
I mean, they're not. I don't know how much, but yeah, it's definitely frustrating when your offense continues, when they consistently unable to score a lot of points. Yeah, I'm not saying they're fighting and stuff, but I'm saying they're definitely frustrated.
The Chiefs have the ability to turn on whenever. The Buccaneers, by the way, maybe this past week they proved that when they have to win, they can win, right? That was pretty much, I don't want to say a must-win situation, but the Buccaneers had to win that game against the Falcons. There was a lot, not only for themselves, I think, but for everything going on, that when they had to, they could go, right? The Chiefs, when they have to, they can go. The Steelers had been able to win games, so you thought that. And last night, AJ, you're 100% right with that. I think watching, we were all just like, okay, when are the Steelers going to go ahead and say, enough with the games? Enough. Let's go ahead and swing that. They never did. And I've talked about this now with Charles Davis a little bit. There's no energy from that team either. It doesn't feel like the team is enjoying football. It doesn't feel like they're enjoying what they're doing. And maybe that's attributed to the week 4 bye week they were forced on. But that was not a good showing for the Steelers last night.
Cam Hayward did say in a post-game interview, our offense has to get started faster for us to be a good defense.
And by the way, Cam can say that. Cam Hayward can absolutely say that. Nobody can say. Tomlin says he's going to talk to Juju about dancing on the logos. Can't stop. And spiking on the logos, by the way. Pretty awesome. He did the old snowball trick, by the way, throw the one up and then spike down. Nick, what do you got?
Not excusing the stink that's on the team, but J.J. Hawk can probably speak to more of this. But in their version of the 3-4 defense, it's all predicated on linebacker play. The secondary isn't expected to cover that long because they're expected to get pressure from the linebackers. They're missing Bud. They're missing Bob Spillane. They're missing Vince Williams.
Devin Bush.
They got
Devin Bush
third-string
early.
safety playing middle linebacker starting for the team. They can't get a rush because of it. It's affecting everything else.
And TJ, he's drinking already. He's been drinking for 2 hours already this morning. Nick Maroldo's been going straight to the hard stuff there. But to his point, how do you feel about that whole thing?
Well, to Bill Moraldo's point, I think he's right. With all those injuries, it's tough, especially in the middle of that defense. You need those guys. I think Bud Dupree was a big loss for this team, and
he's going to get paid. Hey, Bud's going to get paid to go somewhere, I think. I don't think Steelers are going to pay him. He's going to end up being on the market. He's going to be a big-time signing.
Kind of deal? Like how much a year you think? What's the average? Where's he at?
Okay, what do defensive ends get? I mean, let's go.
Marcus Lawrence is what, 21?
I would assume he's 18, 17, 18 million a year, probably, if I had to guess. Maybe even more than that because with the salary cap, maybe not actually. I think probably 17. He's 270. He can fly. Yeah. And this year, the defense has taken a massive hit for whatever reason since his departure. I mean, it feels like that's a lot of leverage to have in negotiations. I don't think the Steelers will pay him. That doesn't feel like a Steelers move. Steelers rarely do that. But it feels like he's going to get paid somewhere. Bring him to the Colts, by the way.
I mean, there's a lot. Joey Bosa's getting 27 a year. Miles Garrett's getting 25 a year. Khalil Mack's 23. DeMarcus Lawrence 21. Frank Clark 20. Von Miller 19.
Bud's getting $23 million a year.
20, at least 20.
Where is TJ still in his rookie deal?
Yes.
Yeah. He's going to be the one they're going to pay, though, on the D-line.
Unless Ben comes back.
Well, Roethlisberger, I mean, every other week it's either he's retired in the moment or he's coming back another year. I don't know how that's going to go. This has been wild. I would assume this is taking a big toll on a lot of people at home, by the way. The emotional change of winning, and then everything spiraling out of control, and you know that you're on the ride while it's going down. I assume their entire lives are much different right now than they were just a few weeks ago.
Especially can't relieve any tension either. You just kind of have to eat it, you know?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about letting Ben beat what he needs to do to get back on his horse.
They're saying the small muscles in his arm are no longer as strong as they once were. Although he does have a new elbow, he hasn't reformed all the muscles that he once had dialed in at a very high rate.
Might be time to dust off that Brazzers subscription.
That's right.
Yeah, might be time to dust it off.
Get it going.
Get ready for the playoffs.
What has Bill got, an Oculus?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, you get Ben the Oculus. He might win the MVP. He might sneak in there and throw 15 touchdowns over the next 2 weeks.
So are you saying, Pat, if he does all of a sudden have some zip on his arm come playoff time, we know what happened?
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just talking about the scumbags in this office and the way they've been talking. This morning, I walked into a buzzsaw of toxicity with Ben Roethlisberger and his beating habits. I mean, it was unbelievable, these guys in their conversation.
And I've said before, it's something about Mary's situation where he's going into the game with a little too much juice pent up inside of him. He needs a release before the game.
No. Let's
do it for the team, Ben.
Yeah.
Do it for the team.
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
Let it loose, my friend. Let it loose.
Tomlin should lock him in a bathroom with a laptop and a couple magazines, maybe, a travel-size can of lotion. Say, hey, look, Ben, the next 10 minutes, Jesus isn't in this room. It's just you and the computer, my man. Go ahead, let it eat. You come out of here and let's go get number 7.
It's Christmas. Jesus is busy. He's not going to see it.
Yeah, that's what he should say.
There's a lot going on in the world right now.
Uh-huh.
Let's go to Joe in Palm Coast, Florida. What's going on, Joe? Jesus.
Hey, Pat, boys, happy Mary to everyone.
Hey, happy Mary to you as well, man. What do you want to talk about?
I just wanted to throw kind of a hypothetical at you. If you're Joe Judge and Daniel Jones is not ready to go on Sunday, do we just shut him down for the year or what?
It does. That isn't interesting because Colt McCoy's been getting the starts, but the Giants are. Can you put up the NFC playoff picture? Are the Giants in it anymore?
Yes.
They're still in it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
See, that's if you feel like Daniel Jones is your best option, you put his ass out there then if you're a team that could potentially sneak in the back door. If you think he's not the best option, then you don't play him. I think that is all Joe Judge needs to make the decisions for. Now, do you think are the Giants over there on the lower right there?
Yeah.
5-9, yeah.
Just a blue ball. Oh, that's the NY logo.
Yeah, they don't have a... That's a little bit of different color. I do agree. Blue was a bad idea.
No. Zito, by the way, you do an incredible job with all these things. So sometimes there's going to be one that slips through the cracks. So we appreciate you, Zito. Way to go.
Thank you.
We appreciate you. Now, a little peek behind the curtain as the show's going on. We have the NFC playoff picture up on the screen right now. The Giants are 5-9 right now. They are in the hunt alongside a lot of other teams. In the NFC East, somebody's going to win that thing. 6-8 Washington football team. Who knows how that goes? Dwayne Haskins isn't wearing his mask while he's at the adult ballet.
Whoa.
Unbelievable. If you think Daniel Jones is your best bet, you do it. It doesn't matter how young he is or whatever. If you're trying to win and make the playoffs and you're trying to tell that entire culture that you're trying to set, like we were trying to win games here, you put him out there. Ain't that right, AJ?
Is it a hamstring? Is that what he has?
Yeah, I'm not hurt. Before I went on that entire run, probably should have known that. I think an ankle too at one point.
Yeah, an ankle was
a hamstring and
sprained ankle.
Okay. Well, yeah, with those, if it's hamstring, sprained ankle, you ask Daniel Jones, you talk to the doctors. If he feels okay going, you absolutely put him in because that's not really something that you're going to do permanent damage like if you continue to play through it.
Yeah, the hamstring could go, but I mean, at this point, that means it's going to go at any point anyways. He's got all offseason to take it. Now, granted, there are inherent risk playing quarterback for the Giants. You know what I mean? Like, maybe the hamstring and the ankle isn't all we're thinking about. Maybe we're thinking about the rest of the body. But how many times you get a chance to make the playoffs? This is what we're here for. You're planning for the future by shutting them down. What are you planning for the future? To win in the future? To do what? Make the playoffs in the future? You can make the playoffs right now. Why wouldn't you do that right now? So that's, I think you put him in there. Great question, though, because you worry about the well-being of the guy. You saw what happened to Joe Burrow, but this is a much different situation. Kevin in Cleveland, what's going on, pal?
Hey, how you doing, Pat and boys?
Not too shabby. How's life in Cleveland?
It's fucking cold, like usual.
Yeah. It's cold here, too.
It's pretty good.
It is winter.
Pretty good. Listen, I just had a pitch for Foxy.
Okay.
I think he should hop on the Browns bandwagon, join the dog pound. It's almost like he's been an undercover Browns fan for the past 3 weeks. I mean, he's tanked the Steelers season. Gave him a chance to win the AFC North, Week 17. I mean...
Might be the biggest Browns fan out there, by the way, that he took his talents undercover, his sucking talents undercover to the Steelers, tank them from an undefeated season, get the Browns back in the conversation. You go back to Cleveland, you're a fucking hero of this.
Whoa.
You're barking in the doghouse.
And that's the appreciation I wanted from Steelers fans that I did not get, all right? I wanted to be welcomed with open arms, just like this Kevin from Cleveland wants me to be a Browns fan. And you know what? That's going to make me feel pretty good right now.
Are you going to be a dog pound member?
I still got to think about it all.
You think you come
There's a lot of teams on the table.
Too good for the Browns.
No.
Yeah,
I just got to evaluate still.
Let's go to Thomas Diner in New Orleans. Is this Thomas Morstead? What's going on, dude?
No, sir. Patrick Cleves. What's happening, bro?
Hey, just hanging out, dude. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, man. I was wondering if you had any feedback as it relates to your epic, but subtle but epic tip of the old hat to the Wolf of Wall Street yesterday when you were rapping with your boy Dano.
Yeah, interesting. I did make a cocaine reference on the show yesterday, and there were a couple people that noticed. I'm thankful that the guy in New Orleans did as well. Okay, that's good. That's good character story building line right there of New Orleans. I appreciate that. I felt pretty good about it. Oh, Dano, by the way, Dan Orlovsky, You know, when he talks, people listen. A lot of Twitter action when Dan Orlovsky comes on the show.
Absolutely.
A lot of Twitter action with old Dan. How do you feel about old Dan Orlovsky's media run right now? You obviously like him as a person. We all like him as a person. He's impossible not to like. He's like maybe just the most standard white human of all time. You know what I mean?
Super nice guy.
Super nice. He's trying to do this. He doesn't do anything that's too excitable. He has his he just lock it. He's just Connecticut. And you can hate those types of people, I understand. But as a human, he's a nice guy. How do you feel about his media run, though? I love the way he just gets in there and he's not scared of a damn thing.
I think it's about time. I remember talking to Dan a couple years ago when he was posting those videos online, and I was like, bro, like, aren't all the networks coming after you? Like, I would assume they're bidding for what you're doing. He was so good at that and explaining it. I didn't know he was going to be going to be able to go on these shows and be like an opinion guy. I didn't think that. I thought Dan was going to be just X and O's.
Me too. I thought so too. You got to admit though, whenever he was doing those videos at the beginning on Twitter, he came on this show a lot while he was doing that, and we just had some critiques of what we thought potentially, you know, maybe a little bit more energy. Because remember, when he was telling those stories at the very beginning, those videos, I felt like I was learning so much. I wanted more people to watch them. I felt like kind of like how you probably felt. I was like, more people should be seeing this. But because he was so monotone while doing them at the beginning, he has become... He's going to be TV guy for a long time.
He took your constructive criticism. I was thinking about that the other night. Like, one of the first times we had it on was like 3 years ago, and that was like the first thing you said to him was like, damn, I'm about to fucking fall asleep. Like, let's go here. And he has come full circle. He's very good.
Hey, I wish I could be like Dan in a lot of different ways whenever I get on television now at this point. But I felt like he was going to be good because how smart he was. But you're right. I didn't think he was going to come out and be entertaining. He will swing, too. I mean, he will step into that batter's box, and he will swing at anything coming down the plate. Let me think about it for a little bit. Let me watch some film, and I'll get back to you. Yeah, this guy's the best quarterback I've ever seen in my life. Wham! You know what I mean? It's just, he's right about
He's prepared. He's confident because he's prepared always. And I think one thing I respect about Dan for sure is that he doesn't comment if he's not prepared or he's not knowledgeable. Like you could ask him about something. He's like, I don't know. I haven't seen them play. I'd have to see him play before I can give you my opinion.
Watching him operate on Get Up was amazing, you know, because we go through the pre-production meeting where they run through all the things they're going to talk about, whose takes are what, okay, how you doing. It was really fun to kind of watch that all unfold. Our show is very similar, but that show is, you know, watching it. And then Dan getting the notes out of that meeting would then go watch film and take notes and everything like that, where I'm just kind of like hanging out, like scrolling through the internet, like what's going on in the world, watching Dan like do his work and take his focus from when he was a quarterback and everything like that and direct it strictly to tell. It's been really cool to watch. I think he's going to make a lot of money on TV.
Absolutely.
I enjoy when he comes on, but boy, go ahead.
He's going to be a GM. He's going to be a GM or a coach. He basically said it on the show yesterday when he said, well, you know, a lot of players, they get into TV and then when they lose kind of they've done it, they've done their thing, and then they kind of have that fire for competitiveness and being around a team again. Then they go into coaching or front office. I was like, oh, you're just explaining your career path, Dan.
Oh, Dan, you just kind of the blueprint that you were putting together. I don't know. It's a lot. TV gig. I know that everybody gets sick of it or whatever. It seems not everybody, but a lot of people get sick of it because you can't experience the wins and losses or whatever. I think you got to reframe that in your mind. I enjoy seeing if every single day is a win or a loss of a show. You know, we won that. We lost. And I think it's because all our views are earned, you know, and not like not just like on ESPN where you're guaranteed to be in the background of something or your views are guaranteed to be something. All our views are kind of like an earned view thing. So I feel like every day is a win-loss mindset. And I don't fully understand whenever people be like, yeah, you know that feeling of winning though in competition. You don't really get that with TV. I'm like, well, I don't think you're viewing it right then. I feel like you can definitely have a certain level of competition, you know, but I guess it is different.
It's just you got to be competitive with yourself and say, all right, was I better this week? Like, say you're calling games. Was this better than last week's game?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
The process, you know? You know, it's almost like you got to start like every little step is like almost. Yeah, you're right. So I don't know why people do that with TV. Why do people get so sick of TV, I wonder? Probably because.
I'm sure they get like stuff gets stale, or they're probably like, honestly, I can't form another opinion on all these topics. Or I'm sure like if you're a guy like Dan Orlovsky. Whoa. Cut that out. Cut that out, Zeno.
Dump it. Foxy.
Yeah, dump it. So I don't know why you guys are so offended by that.
Oh, well, this was a big thing. This is a big thing when he was on the show. Because whenever he came on the show, he would always get tweeted, Dane Orshlovsky. He would go on ESPN, Dane Orshlovsky. He would call a game Dane Orshlovsky. Wikipedia went to Dane John Orshlovsky.
Yeah.
So, like, we had to do, he said, you know, so we put an official end to rest in peace to Dane Orshlovsky.
R.I.P. Dane.
Life well lived.
Miss you, Dane.
So you just did that in tribute, obviously.
Yes, in tribute. But if a team calls him and says, "Hey, come interview for our GM job," or someday they say, "Come interview for our head coaching gig," don't you think that's going to get him a little juiced a little bit differently than TV has gotten him all juiced up over the last 3 or 4 years?
Yeah, I think you're right. I guess if somebody was to say, "Hey, you want to come be a general manager of an NFL team," you'd probably go, "That seems like a job not a lot of people have had." Yeah, that'd be pretty fucking cool. Let me go ahead and see what that's like. I guess you're right. I guess that situation could happen. But it feels like a lot of the TV guys are setting up to leave. You know what I mean? It's like, I feel like you're viewing it wrong. I feel like you should be trying to. But to each their own, AJ. To each their own. Let's go to Liam in New York. What's going on, Liam? Oh, there's another caller. Great.
Bad.
There's another caller with a really good name. Liam, not that your name's bad. Liam's a good name, but there's
Whoa,
no, Liam, it's a good name. Liam, there's a guy named Big D Daddy in Cincinnati.
Oh,
Big Dick Daddy in Cincinnati's calling, okay? Like, no offense to you, Liam. Liam's a cool name, but I just saw Big Dick Daddy from Cincinnati on my call thing. I just looked over there for the first time and saw it. So I apologize for not being as pumped for you, but I would like to let you know I'm excited to hear what you want to talk about, Liam.
Pat, I want to ask you, will Josh Allen win MVP?
Okay, I think at some point he will, Liam. I think at some point he will. I think it's tough. Russell Wilson hasn't even gotten an MVP vote.
What?
All these years. And who do we have on? Charles Robinson, old Chuck Robinson came on, who has an MVP vote. And he explained how, Russell Wilson, his best years, he ran into a couple buzzsaws here. He ran into Patrick Mahomes, he ran into Cam Newton, he ran into Lamar Jackson. So it's not always as easy as just winning the MVP. But Josh Allen seems to have all the pieces to win an MVP. And I hope he does someday because he's a good dude. And that Bills team looks like they're going to be – that Bills Mafia at the airport, man, that was so cool. I almost wanted to move to Buffalo. As soon as I saw it, I was like, that's awesome. I want to be a part of a town that's going to do that. You know what I mean? Like a town that has been through the shit for so long, so cold, so bad for so long. And then all of a sudden they win. They're like, hey, listen, we told you we're going to be with you whenever we're here. As soon as you fucking land, the whole city's going to be there. It was awesome. I was so pumped up about that. Good for them. And they got a guy in Josh Allen.
Hey, how upset do you think Bills Mafia will be if next year the Bills are just garbage when they can finally get back in the stands?
Jesus.
There's a chance.
What makes you think
they will?
Oh, yeah. What makes you think there's even a chance of them being garbage?
Okay, they have a great head coach. They have a great quarterback. They have great players. They seem to be doing everything right. But what if something happened? What if, I don't know, injuries, things happen. It's tough to win ball games in the NFL.
True.
Like, it would be a real letdown if they don't continue this on next year when the fans can finally come back and really enjoy it in person.
Yeah, because you got to get lucky, too. A lot of people don't talk about the luck factor in winning in the NFL. And Detroit obviously has been very unlucky for a very long time. I mean, they make their own luck by fucking people over, and Foxy's a fan of them, so that might be the biggest problem. And the Buffalo Bills have been bad for a long time. But you know what? They might be a team that gets COVID next year.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Yeah, I hope they don't.
Year,
I don't want to put that on, but COVID-20 could fucking come flying off the top of an RV into the Buffalo Bills organization. You don't know. That could happen.
Yeah, it's possible.
20-2-0 could show up. What, then they shut down the whole world game, by the way? Is that?
No, they won't do that.
No. Are we still up on YouTube? Probably not. Let's go to Big Dick Daddy in Cincinnati and try to get taken down for real. What's going on, pal? Something funny.
Hey, they need to put some fucking respect on your name.
Yeah.
You're a national show.
No, regional,
No.
Big Dick Daddy.
Daddy.
Yeah, Big Dick, Mr. Daddy. Mr. Daddy.
I've called in twice. Go ahead.
What do you want to talk about, pal?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you, Foxy.
Yeah. Thank you, Fox.
And we want to offer you a job at the practice field at the Bangles. We want you to burn that shit down so we can make an indoor field.
Good. Hey, that's good thinking there. Yeah. That's next level thinking. Let's get Foxy in here to burn this place down so they're forced with their insurance money to build it back up. And in 2020, there's no way they wouldn't put an indoor practice facility in. Even if it has to be tiny, they'll be able to do that. Not a bad play there by Mr. Daddy. Not a bad play.
Reverse juju.
I appreciate their appreciation, but I will stick to my day job, Pat.
Okay, let's go to Keith in Illinois. What's going on, Keith?
Pat, AJ, boys, how's it going?
Hey, pal, not too shabby. What do you want to talk about?
Hey, I just wanted to bring up the whole Steelers thing. I know we're beating a dead horse with it, but it's kind of talk of the town these days.
It is the region. It's been
with
talk
the region. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I know the Steelers have the Colts this weekend, and the Browns have the Jets. So, pretty decent chance that Week 17 the Browns and Steelers are going to be playing for a division. I mean, is the world going to shut down if the Browns go ahead and win the division?
Oh, my God. Maybe that's where COVID-20 comes from. Yeah, maybe that's and who knows where Ben Roethlisberger's going to be. What if Rudolph's got to play that game? And it's Myles Garrett against Mason Rudolph for the division. Are you kidding me?
Everyone just thinks this is a gimme for the Browns against the hot Jets.
True. That is very true.
Playing hard.
Because if the Jets really want to signify that they don't want that number 1 pick, they get a big dub this weekend.
Yeah.
But the Browns... Steelers for the division, Week 17. That has to be Sunday Night Football, I'd assume, if that gets to that point. That game is going to be awesome. And the Browns, if they were to play within the last couple weeks, probably win by 30 to 40 points at this point.
Just about.
I mean, that's going to be tough.
You realize who you're talking about?
What's that?
The Browns.
Well, yeah, but hey, we've been talking about the Browns all year potentially being the old Browns, but this is the new Browns. And it seems like this is the new Steelers, which is nothing like the old Steelers.
Honestly, best case scenario, the Steelers do lose to the Colts, which helps the Colts. And then the Dolphins win and the Ravens win. And then the Steelers beat the Browns in Week 17, and the Browns don't make the playoffs. That'd be awesome.
So that's what you. That's kind of the way you see this whole thing playing. There's been a lot of people tweeting out playoff scenarios, and I'll tell you one thing real quick: they are wordy. Okay, So if you got a doctorate, maybe fucking dive in. There is a lot of things that can potentially play out. The Colts and the Ravens, though, very tied at the hip almost at this point. Feels like the Steelers and the Browns need a lot to happen. Or not, the Browns need a lot to happen. But that Week 17 Steelers-Browns, there's probably going to be a couple more too, by the way. Some team's going to need a team to tie, and then this happened, and Kornacki's going to be on that goddamn board. But it's shaping up to be a pretty good setup here these last couple weeks. And hopefully the games will be awesome. I think that the Steelers-Colts this weekend is at 1, I think, 1 o'clock game. You said thank God?
Yeah, Steelers need a 1 o'clock. I saw too many primetime games, a lot of eyeballs on them.
Yeah, but how is that game not at least at 4 o'clock?
They flexed Washington and Carolina, I think, into 4 o'clock.
Yeah, barn burner.
Bro, that fucking NFC East, dude. Jerry Jones, they got control on the media, which is, by the way, you do what you got to do. But Colts-Steelers this weekend, one team's hot, one team's not, AJ. Feels like the Colts, this might be a game where we hammer the Colts.
Yeah, it also makes me worry that we're so down on the Steelers. They look so bad. Like, do they find a way in a game where they're going to be the underdog and people have written them off? Like, does that give them what they need to find a way to put it together?
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it, does it? Normally I'm a big, emotion. Let's talk about the guys on the team as opposed to the X's and O's. But that's what I saw last night in the game there was no emotion. I'm like, yeah, that team's dead. I feel like that team doesn't like each other. Feels like the team doesn't like each other. I might be wrong. Feels like the team doesn't like each other. Feels like they're not believing in what they got going on. And this is all just me from watching Muppet Night Football. Now, Could that all change when it's not Muppet Night Football? You shook your head. Good. I'm happy you feel the exact same way I do about Muppet Night Football. What the fuck was that?
I mean, that wasn't real. It couldn't have been. I thought there was a glitch in the Matrix.
I mean, you got to take your swings. And, hey, they got something coming out on Christmas, which I didn't know from watching last night. I just thought the Muppets were being shoved down my throat for no reason. What do you got, Bubba?
Steelers 15-4-2, their last 21 against the spread as a home dog.
Hey, now.
Now I'm going to ask you the AJ question to you. Do any of those have anything to do with a team that seems to have lost its soul completely? Do you have any stats on that? Is there a follow-up filter?
The Steelers opened at -3.5. Now the Colts are favored by 1.5. Colts 1-4 against the spread. Their last 5 in Pittsburgh as well.
Oh, geez. Nick's drunk 252 on a Tuesday
Ben does
here.
have their number.
Ben has beat the hell out of the Colts whenever I was on the team and everything like that. That was a much different Ben, boys.
Yeah.
He was jerking off back in the day, too.
What's that?
He was jerking off back in the day, too.
Jeez.
It's true. Cat's out of the bag.
Respect the damn subtleties,
This show.
Jeez.
This show
I love that
stinks.
You made him repeat himself. That was my favorite part.
Well, because I thought he said something different. You know, like I thought he potentially did it in his own subtle way because he's had a couple good.
Oh yeah.
You know, kind of like curveball.
You gotta stop hiding it though. He has to get back to it.
Yeah. See, that's what we thought. I thought you potentially did one of those. I thought I misheard you whenever you said exactly what you said there. But that Steelers team's dead, dude. A lot of it talking about it today. They do. In the Packers, you know, I guess we got a chance to chat with Aaron a little bit there, how he talked about a third quarter lull or whatever. They've recognized it, obviously. So hopefully that'll get fixed. I'm pumped for the playoffs, man. I just wish we could be there. You know what I mean? I wish we could be there. I don't want to look too far ahead, but boy, I wish we were in the playoffs right now.
I agree.
There's a lot of things going to pop off. What'll go on if a team gets COVID in the playoffs? They lose?
They're fucked.
You play all that year, you do all this bullshit, and then somehow 1-9 comes off the top rope and you got to, in the playoffs, you're out of nowhere? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to kind of watch
practice squad.
When's the Super Bowl? February 3rd, 7th? 7th, I think. Let's go to Dustin in Nebraska. That's right around the corner, boys.
Hey, Pat. Calling about Foxy, and Aaron Rodgers mentioned it. Positivity. That's what the curse is. No. It's not Foxy's fault that Pittsburgh sucks. It's everyone else in that room that's blaming Foxy for being a curse.
Whoa. Maybe, Dustin.
Whoa.
Maybe. That's right, Foxy.
I couldn't have said it better. All I'm looking for is a little bit of happiness, all right? And these guys, this guy back there is bringing a bunch of negativity and thinking I'm the reason they're losing. That's just plastic.
Nick has drank a bottle of whiskey today.
Slammed.
Maybe some people in here just respect loyalty.
Oh.
Why got to be so negative, Gump? More negativity.
I mean, it was all fun and games till this TikTok generation
what about
stewed.
my happiness here?
Gumpy.
Should have been born somewhere else, dude. Live with it.
Yeah, dude, you like Michigan State basketball. Remember?
Oh,
you want to
good
play
point.
for Izzo. Can't have everything, dude. All right? Can't have everything. AJ, before we get out of here on Sirius, you have anything to say to the lovely listeners around the region?
Well, I don't know what's going on with Nick, why he's drank a bottle of whiskey. Did his dog die or something?
No, Steelers
are dead.
Dude,
Steelers are dead.
It's a funeral. You drink it awake. It's what you do.
Steelers are dead.
So aggressive. He's so aggressive.
He's drunk. Yeah, this is. He's drunk right now. Yeah, that's what happened.
Mad Dog will follow up well.
Chris Mad Dog Russo will be better in this show. Have a great Tuesday. We'll be back tomorrow with a show. Then we're off Thursday, Friday, back on Monday. Chris Mad Dog Russo here on Mad Dog Sports Radio will be next. His show will be better than ours. Cheers. Nailed it. Hey, we got 4 of these Arby's bricks, AJ. Have you entered? Have you entered in to win one of these?
I have not entered yet. I've been focusing on the show, Pat.
I respect that a lot. I have not entered either because I too was focused on the show. Zito, have you entered?
Yes, I did.
See? Exactly.
I'm multitasking, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Get that brick.
This thing got up, I think, to number 4, number 3 trends.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
For a regional show.
Yeah, for a regional show. We got up to number. It was pretty awesome, to be honest.
$500 is nothing to sneeze at with Arby's. If you play your cards right, you can make that last for 2.5 months.
And eat well.
Eat well
for 2.5 months.
Those matzo sticks are nothing to be played with.
Yeah, and that is something to think about because whenever you walk or drive into an Arby's and you got the brick, it's gonna be hard not to look at that entire thing and give me one of everything.
Yeah. You know what?
One of all of it.
I'll take the lot.
Sir, sorry, what you say?
Yeah, you heard me right. Everything on that board.
Even the apple turnovers?
Even the turn. You know what? Give me 2 turnovers.
2?
Yeah.
How about a mocha shake?
You know what? I want a mocha shake. I want a chocolate shake, and I want a vanilla shake right now.
Wow. How about you want a double roast beef?
You know what? Now that I think of it, I want a quadruple roast beef. You put 2 of those on top of each other.
It's going to be hard not to do that when you got one of these bricks. Sure. And you can win one of the 4 if you tweet hashtag Arby's is great with a space in 4 numbers. Now, we have to figure out how to generate the 4 numbers, okay? Because that's what we're going to have to do, obviously, to randomly select who wins, AJ. Do you have any ideas? Here's one. I'll get your mind going. So we'll have 4 of the boys, don't know which one. They'll shoot 10 free throws. Each one of them will represent one of the numbers. Okay, so there's a way we'll do it. We'll obviously make a video doing that. Cut. Shot, make, miss, 4, 3, whatever that is, okay? Here's another idea. In my backyard, I thought about taking some spray paint, making like a tic-tac-toe board, putting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in there, and I'll just punt balls up into the air, and whichever one they land on,
That's good.
that'll be the floor. Now we need 2 more to get rid of 2 more bricks. Do we have any ideas here in the open forum?
I got something.
Okay.
Well, you could film this too. All of those, you know how you feed the whole, like a 20-mile radius of animals you feed on your deck every night with cornflakes and frosted flakes. Put some kind of board like that out there and see which, like the raccoon goes here, that's a certain number. Like put different numbers on your deck and let the animals choose.
And whichever one they eat first, that number's first.
Yeah, wildlife.
So we'll put like a 1 on the cookies. Yeah. 2 on the crunch berries. 3 on the honey bun, and then 4 on the cat food that they love. Meow meow. They love cat food, I guess. That's a good idea. So then we know. But then we need 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's going to be difficult, I think.
Get some like tuna. You can just slide anything in.
Good idea. I like where your head's at. See, that's the type of. See, that's going to spur a conversation, I think, into another idea.
We put numbers all over Foxy's body and beat him with 2x4s.
Yes.
Whichever part bleeds first, that's the one.
So negative.
Okay.
That's a good one.
We'll put that one on the maybe.
Maybe we throw him in the river.
That one's in the hunt.
Then we throw him in the river, and whichever state his body ends up in, that could be one of the numbers.
Okay, so we have to throw him into the river 4 times.
Yeah, we'll fish him out.
It's going to be a long week for Foxy.
It's gonna be, well, and also for us fishing him out, a body out of the river, dude.
He's been pruned up.
You think it is?
I don't like that one.
Foxy, you're out on that.
I don't like that
What
one.
about the other one?
You should have made better choices in your
I don't like
life.
that one either.
Too bad.
We could be way more creative.
There's consequences for your action.
Hey, I got one.
Okay.
Hey, couldn't you have because I know Diggs is such a fan of Juju dancing? Couldn't you somehow reach out to Juju and get him to kind of dance on some kind of grid with numbers and just happen somehow?
Yeah, he could.
That's a good one.
Corvette.
It'll cost it might cost you like $50,000 to get him to do it.
Yeah, but what if he foot fires on like 8 different numbers? Then what do you do?
We could get it.
There's no controlling him.
We could get. Does he have a cameo? No.
I assume.
We could get a cameo and just from somebody and tell them, please pick 4 random numbers in this cameo. That's what we do. There's 3.
Probably Brian Baumgartner.
Brian Baumgartner's on her? Oh, yeah, the guy from The Office. Kevin. That's how I know him, right? He's Kevin.
AJ's best friend.
Kevin Malone.
Yeah, you're friends with him, aren't you?
Yeah, he'll do it. He told me he told me all about his cameo and how successful it is.
Yeah, so did the internet. $1 million that guy fucking made. He does 14 of them a day.
Yeah.
Not a bad little business he's got going.
Oh, is there a story on him?
Oh,
on
yeah.
his
Oh,
cameo?
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Big talks.
Face of Cameo, basically.
Who's the most ridiculous person on Cameo?
Probably
Gary
that
Busey?
Soyak guy.
So,
That just
that would be
counts.
awesome. Oh, he could count
Count
4
master.
numbers.
Oh,
Yeah.
have to have him for one of them. There it is. Man, that's awesome. We got 3 down now.
I wonder
See-
what that would sound like.
Kornacki. Get Kornacki to do one of them somehow.
Oh, on the board.
Man. Oh, that would be awesome.
If we could get Kornacki on the board, that'd be a great way. Now, granted, we can't tell them that this is 4 Arby's because then NBC probably want to get a little,
True.
little
Kickback.
a little wet of the beak.
We could do the number of times Big Ben smacks his baloney when he comes back. Like 27,
It's only 4
34.
numbers. It's only
We need
4
4
numbers.
numbers.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
20,
but-
yeah. So like in 1 week, like he will jerk his meat like 2,738 times.
I think if he hasn't at this point, it's never happening. By the way, I think Jesus and he are too tight at this
Yeah, but that's why you just give him that little like an Arby's roast beef. You just give him the scent of Pornhub, and he's right back to it.
What's
It's
your
like,
problem?
Oh man, I forgot.
What is this
how much
dude's
I
problem?
love
Fat kid
this.
with cake.
What is your problem?
What do you mean?
You should see these scumbags too. I guess this was a big thing in the NFL there for a bit. There's a lot of videos of guys on the internet talking about kicking their porn addictions. I didn't know any of this existed.
I might hack the Steelers facility and put it on like the TVs in the facility, so like he starts like
Error.
Force him to.
This is a real problem for this guy.
It's a real problem for the team. I mean, if the Steelers want to win, they got to get the guy to fucking jerk his baloney, or they don't stand a chance against the Colts.
Yeah, he could always re-kick the habit.
All right, can we please get back on
Is
task?
the Colts game at home?
It's in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, boom. Just put big wet butts on the scoreboard while the offense is up there and just let fucking Ben go to town.
Let Ben beat, baby. Time out. Time out.
That's so rude of you guys.
Well, I mean, we're just trying.
What was happening mid-show? So, it felt like the building was blowing over.
Fly over.
It was a fly. There's
Blue Angels are
There's
back?
choppers above us right now.
Low altitude today.
Juju was dancing on the roof.
Could have been.
Did we count how many times he tapped? Because that could be our number.
No.
We need one more way to figure
You
out.
want Gary Busey?
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, see, that's a good one.
How reliable is he?
Pretty fast. 1-day delivery.
Gary.
Gary's good.
Who's got better teeth, Gary Busey or
Ryan Finley?
Ryan Finley, thank you.
Fucking drunk ass Nick back there.
Remember his name.
Ryan Gilbert. He was pumped, dude. He was pumped last night. I love seeing that. He had a lot of swag.
Yeah, nobody thought they were going to win.
Nobody, dude. How about him pulling that
see ya.
skirting?
I mean, it's the sole reason why Andy Dalton's not in Cincinnati anymore.
Ryan Finley is. He
It's
was the one
why
that
he got
started.
replaced, yeah.
Oh, on his birthday. They couldn't lose, dude. Can't lose. The Bengals tonight, right?
No way.
No way. I actually called Nick, FaceTimed him, and Diggs before the game. Said, no way you guys lose this game, right? Like, literally, as a smart, no way you guys lose tonight. I don't know why. I just thought it would be such an epic Tuesday if the Steelers lost. And here we are talking about them being completely dead.
Incredible Tuesday.
Patriots are definitely out of the playoffs, but it seems like the Steelers are dead.
I mean, why did no one say the Rams are dead? They lost to the Jets.
Yeah, but they didn't win 11 straight.
Yeah, they're pretty good, though.
Yeah, they're right. I think they will be better, though. Like, I feel like their coach, I'm embarrassed and I'm sick. The Steelers.
Tomlin's embarrassed.
Tomlin's like, us sucking, and I got to go talk to Juju about his fucking dancing. So, like, I just feel like it's two different vibes over there, you know?
Goff, too. It's always been talked about how he's inconsistent. Like, I don't think any of us knew that Ben fucking sucks.
What is your problem? What is this?
Look.
Let's not dive into quarterback play, pal.
Yeah,
absolutely.
high horse you're throwing
I'm
rocks
not
from.
pounding the Cam Newton drum, but look, Big Ben can't throw the ball like he used to. Guy had like 15 yards in the first
breaking
half.
news is his 20th year in the league.
Yeah, well, exactly. So why are we talking about him coming back next year and then he takes a, $41 million hit to the cap? He will sink the Steelers' ship if he comes back next year.
Well, he was captain of that ship for a long time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he won't get forced out by the Steelers organization.
That's because the quarterback that he's playing for New England can still play football. Unfortunately, Ben can. And you heard Tom Curran earlier, Gumpy. That team's still 9-7 if Brady's there, so who cares?
Let's go to Ty in Wyoming. What's going on, Ty?
Big talk.
Oh, not much, guys. I have a quick question for you. My question is, how did this show with you and AJ come about? Like, were you guys working a game together? Or I'm curious. It's an interesting story that I don't know the answer to yet.
That's a really good question, Ty. We did work a game together. AJ, you texted me, didn't you, as soon as the quarantine started? Because I was doing 2 hours a day. And I think AJ said, I think you texted me, and then we just started. I forget how it exactly happened.
It was quick. It was really quick. Well, we did a podcast back in the day for Barstool, Laces Out. That's why we initially did something together.
By the way, great time on that show. Jerry Thornton was on there. Great time. Every Sunday night, I was on cloud 50 after watching the games. AJ was up in his thing, and Jerry was kind of driving. That was a great show. It was a good time. That was right. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, that was fun doing that. And then we did that Baylor game. And then once, right at the very start of COVID, I remember, that's how quick you are. I texted you on Sunday of COVID, like basically the Sunday where the next Monday, like everything was kind of shut down in March. And I was like, yeah, man, we should do something. Like sports are getting canceled. Let's do something. And you're like, that's a good idea. And then the next day you had graphics. We had a show. We had sports talk.
I remember that.
Yeah, it was a good day.
Mm-hmm.
I remember coming in because everything was shutting down. And we were trying to, figure out the protocols and what we were able to do. And with how big our office was, we were able to continue to operate and everything like that. And I was like, people are probably going to be watching the internet. We should probably be doing a little bit, we could be the monkeys dancing on the screen for people who are being locked in their houses. So the McAfee and Hawk show began, which was great time. I mean, the shit that show used to get into. What's that?
Draft schedule, the draft spectacular.
Oh, the draft spectacular.
6 hours long.
There's no way I did any research on how long a normal draft is whenever we agreed to doing that. That was the longest night ever. And it wasn't until 97% of the way through the show that we got the moment we've been waiting for. And that's the fucking one that is now has a figurine on the desk of Ty, Mad Mel Kiper. It was What an electric night that was. I completely forgot. And that's kind of just led into everything.
Did a watch along for goddamn baseball. Yeah. I mean.
Oh, yeah. How terrible was that?
It was brutal.
And what do we miss? We missed Fauci throwing out the person on first base for the opening pitch.
That's right. We did Office Olympics, too.
Oh, Office Olympics was a good time.
You ate that pepper?
Yep.
Hey.
And the McDonald's challenge?
Oh, my God. Yeah, that's how it all came to be. But AJ did play-by-play for our chipping challenge, remember?
That's right.
From the cloud.
And we just completely ignored him.
Yeah,
we
he
didn't
was-
even respond to him.
He was so pissed. No one could hear him the entire time.
I can't believe I agreed to that. Why did I agree to do that?
You knew that there was no way we would have the proper text to set that up. You knew there was no chance. So for those that don't know, it's on a YouTube thing. It was we had an Office Olympics series basically at the beginning of the lockout, and it was to try to give away money and everything. Basically, we were just trying to figure out what to do, and we did this chipping. It was Office Golf, I think, right?
Yeah.
It was Office Golf where you had to chip it, and we were like, the vision was good. You know, AJ would play by play. We'd be able to set a camera up. He'd be able to see what was going on. We'd be able to interact with him. The tech we had at the time just was not ready for it. So AJ could see what we were doing, but we couldn't see or hear AJ. He was 10 to 15 yards away from us. So we chose to run with AJ's commentary over top of it, though. And it was just AJ going, this is so fucking stupid. You can't hear me. What is going on? Why is this happening? Oh, he had a good shot. Great shot. I'm sitting here all by myself. That's what it was the entire time. We've had some moments here in 2020. Not a bad run, 2020, you and us.
It has. It's gone quick. It really has.
I mean, 2020 kind of overall terrible, obviously. But some good shit has come out of it.
All you can do is, well, what are you going to do? You got to make the best of it, right?
That's everything in life, by the way. You know? You got those cliche internet life coaches. They're like, it's not a problem. It's not an obstacle. It's an opportunity.
Hell yeah.
But I mean, if you have a little bit of that in you, it helps out a lot. Like I don't know. People are always like, when I do those Instagram Q&A things, you know, normally I don't answer any of them because I forget, which is 100% my fault. Okay. I get made fun of by everybody in here as soon as I put one of those up. I get a lot of people that are like, why are you fucking even wasting your time?
You know what's weird, Pat? I don't want to cut you off. I assumed you were answering a lot of people back. I'm like, man, Pat's doing a lot tonight if he's going to legit go back and forth with all these people.
Yeah, and the answer is no, I didn't. But a lot of the questions are like, a lot of people ask me, like, how are you always in a good mood or something like that? I'm not. Like, that is not a real thing. Like, I feel like a lot of times I view situations I'm in as like movie scenes, and I view the people in them as the characters in the movie. And for me, that has helped me get past a lot of things. Now, people say that's me avoiding real life situations. Probably the case. But for me, I'm a big how you doing, keep it moving guy. I can see something's terrible. We're all experiencing it. Let's go ahead and move on and see if we can make the best of it. And I think that's got me a lot of places. But I don't want anybody to think that I'm always in a good mood, because that is not the case. For instance, right before we went on the air today, I was not in a good mood. Actually, 2 seconds before the microphone came on loud, I actually said to the boys, I said, let me get this out real quick. And I screamed, fuck everybody. And then I come right back into it. So, you know, I just want to make sure that is not a real thing. But the ability to get past hard times, I think, is a massive trait that you have to have.
I mean, it's unbelievable. It's inspiring what you said. Like the movie thing, I've never thought of it that way. Your brain is very unique, very weird. Yeah. And I mean that as in the utmost compliment. I really do. But yeah, to look at it like it's a scene in the movie and they're all actors. Because, yeah, I mean, I get people ask me the same time, too. Like, why are you always so positive and always so upbeat and in a great mood? And I'm like, hey, man, I don't think I am all the time.
Hey, man, you probably think I'm in a good mood. There's a couple times where I am miserable, and you were talking, right now is one of them, because I'm having a conversation with you. So that would be so fucked up if I said that. By the way, I do feel like I'm normally in a good mood, though. I feel like that is, and it's because I feel like I can get past things. And it's one of those things where it's like, well, there ain't nothing we can do. Let's go ahead and just fucking move on. But I don't want that myth to be out there that I'm always in a good mood, because, I mean, today was probably the first time I've been in a really bad mood in a long, long time. Got through the show. Here we are, 3 hours, 12 minutes later. Feel good about it. Feel like I'm in a good spot.
You're a human being.
That was a loud fuck everybody, though, before we went on.
It was awesome. 2, 1.
Yeah, it was. There was a chance this show today was going to go much different if I didn't get that out. As I was walking into this, I was just not. There was a lot of things going on. So I walk in here, and I'm like, in my head, normally I could talk to myself and be like, all right, here we go. This is what we're going to talk about. Let's go ahead and do this thing. This one was like, Yeah, bury that motherfucker. Yeah, bury that. Yeah, do that too. Yeah, do that. And then I was like, oh, can't do that. Can't do that. Come on. Got to have a little bit of filter, don't you? I'm like, nah, well, that's what I am. I'm not a guy that doesn't have it. And then I scream, fuck everybody to the boys. I get a good, by the way, the boys give like a yeah. Like a yeah, and then we're automatically off and running. So what I'm saying is this year has definitely sucked. We've been very thankful that people have followed along with us. But I feel like if you try to make the best of everything, at some point it will pay off. But don't feel bad if you're ever just fucking miserably and pissed off, because it happens to everybody.
Yeah, it's how fast can you move past it. That's all it is.
I'm pretty quick, man. I'm like as quick as Juju dancing on logos.
Ooh, that's
pretty
fast.
Pretty quick.
It is pretty quick. Him jumping by a little bit slower on the slow roll.
He's taking his time. He's doing his walk.
What's the song called? Corvette?
Uh-huh.
That's the name of the song?
Figure that out.
I think it's called Adderall. He did miss the beat yesterday on the dance.
Whoa. So was that Chase Claypool's fault or was that his fault?
No, it was his. He missed the start.
Really?
Yeah.
It's the editor's fault.
That song is a banger, though.
Who's editing, though? Is it him?
It might be him, but if he has a team, I'm assuming his editor is going to put that together because he's got a game to prepare for, and that guy's got to put it on the beat.
Well, I had already seen the video of him throwing a ball up and spiking and dancing on the logo, okay? And then I saw on Monday Night Countdown or whatever, they were zoomed in on him on the practice field, and he was on his phone at the time.
So it could have been him.
Check the DMs.
I don't know.
He was on Instagram Live telling everybody he was about to go do it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, you didn't see that?
No.
Yeah, he was on Instagram Live pointing at the thing, like laughing about it.
Oh.
He's like, I'm going out there. That's where I'm going. And then he gave Buddy his phone and fucking went on his way to Corvette.
Listen, dude.
The balls, like the confidence in the balls on Juju to go on Instagram Live, not only before the day of a game, before a game, on the field, talking about dancing on the logo like that. Man, I wish I had those balls.
Bro, I don't have it. I don't have that gut sack to do that, you know? I do not have the gut sack to pull that off. I didn't know this was on IG Live. This guy's running his business during pre. Mm-hmm. It's a new world. Hey, good for Juju, man.
Yeah.
Juju doesn't care. If I was his teammate, I think a lot of people probably ask some questions, but from the outside, Juju doesn't care.
Yeah.
Let him dance.
You get Hines Ward in there and smack him in the mouth.
I do think, like, I'm surprised that somebody on the team hasn't been like, don't you, we respect what you're doing, but too much maybe, don't you think? Like, somebody had to have mentioned that at some point, but you can't eat lunch with anybody. You know what I mean? Like, those conversations potentially happen, like, at lunch or in the locker room, and they can't hang around. So maybe because of the COVID protocols, all these veterans that we're going after for not saying things, maybe they can't do it, literally, because you can't sit at lunch and be like, hey, don't we think maybe, because that does happen, by the way, at the lunch table. Quiet talk. Not everybody can hear you. Hey, we're just kind of doing this thing. Just a little bit of a, hey, don't you think maybe, yeah, okay, cool, you're right. Let's go ahead and not do that anymore. Maybe that's why this is happening. Did we just, 3 hours and 15 minutes into this thing, we just figured it all out.
Yeah.
Wow. Look at us.
There it is.
Look at us.
Steelers are safe.
Steelers are okay. It's not that they don't have any leaders or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's just they're not allowed to lead.
Correct.
The NFL said you can't lead, not with 19 around.
Nope.
Can't lead.
Can't do it.
Let them dance. Can't lead. That's probably what it is.
What kind of contract do you think Juju gets next year?
He doesn't. Who cares, dude?
Yeah.
Who cares? I assume his YouTube does well.
Crushes.
He's doing IG lives and warm-ups. I mean, he doesn't give a fuck.
I think he's got a Twitch too.
Bro,
he's doing it all.
Could you imagine just, oh my God, you do that, then you have a bad game. For me, that's why as soon as I started tweeting, I didn't start like being very active tweeting or anything like that until I was very, very, very confident that I was going to do good. Because as a punter, you shouldn't be talking or doing anything anyways. And not that I ever talked about the team or anything. I was just saying dumb stuff on the internet. But if you say dumb stuff or do things on the internet and then you don't do your job better than everybody, you're just going to get attacked for, why are you wasting energy on this instead of this? Instead of what your job is, instead of what we're paying you to do, what you represent, your teammates, your coaches, their families, and everything like that. Him going live in warm-ups, his confidence is so impressive. You have to respect his confidence in this entire thing. And that's why his YouTube is doing so goddamn good.
You're probably the most fearless person I know in terms of just anything and everything, being up for whatever. That man may have taken the crown.
He's fearless, dude. And is there any other opponents on the field? Who's on the field? Nobody? Because the Bengals had to know this was potentially going to happen, right? It was the talk of the entire thing.
Oh, yeah, they knew.
I sent it to the group, the video.
Of the IG Live?
Yeah.
I mean, with the Bills, there were punters that were literally right next to him warming up while he was doing it.
What do you think? Pat, you tell me. You think the punter and long snapper are going to go out there and try to fight Juju in the pregame?
It would be cool, wouldn't it? Imagine if the punter just goes over.
You know what?
Get the fuck off the logo.
I'm sick of it.
Imagine if the punter's over there just, with the terrible helmet.
Yeah.
Terrible helmet, bad pads, for function. The helmet's bad, so we have good vision, by the way, so we can see the whole entire ball. The bad pads, because we want to be able to move and we don't really need them. And bad body, probably, because don't need to worry about anything. We just need to kick. Imagine if the punter goes over while he's in the middle of his little thing and he throws that ball, swats the ball, and then super kicks Juju. Oh. It would have been amazing. That could have been Huber. Huber's like the nicest kid of all time, too. Imagine Kevin Huber just walks over and goes, he's a lefty, and just goes, hey, Juju, what's up? Bang! Knocks him right off the logo. That would have been awesome.
Something to just consider telling the Colts, this upcoming weekend, hey.
Is that in Pittsburgh or is it in Indy?
Pittsburgh.
It's in Pittsburgh.
Oh.
By the way.
Unless.
Over there. Do what I think you got. I'm about to do it. I gotta do it. On that logo. Look at this stadium, though.
He's live right there.
Hey, who you got winning today?
I gotta take my boys.
Who your boys?
Bangles.
Oh, man.
That guy was right.
You know it's about to go down over there in that logo. Bud Dupree, you know I got to. Quarterback. Hop me that just like that. All right, everybody. I'm gonna catch y'all later. I gotta go. Oh, check out the cleats, though. Logo.
Hey, guys, we're in the business, man.
That's a steal right there.
That guy's running a full business. Good for him, man. See, hey, most jerseys sold outside of quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Mm-hmm. Juju's crushing it. The courage and confidence, though, is wild. I'm pumped for that security guard, by the way.
Yeah.
On the spot, not bending at all. Got to go with my boys.
Yeah.
That's Cincinnati through and through right there, that guy.
The Browns do not have a logo at midfield.
He'll find a dog somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maybe he'll do a dance that
Not a
involves.
pile of shit at midfield.
Got him. That's the drunk Steelers fan, by the way, for those that are wondering. Oh, Juju, man.
Yikes. Hey, don't most teams, though, I don't know if they changed it, but a lot of times teams have like a no social media rule like 90 minutes before the game or like once you arrive at the stadium.
That was an NFL rule there for a while. You couldn't, and also immediately after the game, guys, well, I think I was maybe one of them. Immediately after the game, I'd put a tweet out, like as soon as I got back to the locker room about the game, and it would go, and then they made a rule about how you have to wait a certain amount of time because of media and this whole thing. Huh. And before the game, they made a rule. But before the game, tweeting, I mean, for me, there was so much going on in my head, and maybe that's because, I'm not as confident as Juju was, but before the game, you doing that. If you lose, you know how massive the backfire is, but Juju probably don't care at that point.
I thought there may have been a rule, or I thought there was a rule after AB went live during Tomlin's in the locker room after the game the one time, but Juju doesn't give a fuck if there's a rule or not.
That's all you want to say there?
Yeah.
So you don't know if there's a rule or not?
No,
Derek
I
Watt
assume there
tweeted
is.
last night before the game was over. Now, granted, he did get shoved in the back and got his head shoved into somebody's knee, but
that looks scary, by the way.
That was.
Antonio Brown went live after that. They probably did. That probably was against the rules, I'd assume, for the timing. Because there was a time where, like, I think the media got first shot or something like that. I don't know. When social media hit the NFL, all hell broke loose. Mm-hmm. I mean, watching the olds try to figure it out and regulate it was just fantastic. And I was right in the middle of it, by the way. I mean, knuckle deep in the middle of that whole entire conversation with the NFL. Diggs, Nick, Foxy, we hope your Steelers can kind of turn this whole thing around, boys, okay? For the good of the show, for good of Ben, for the good of the city of Pittsburgh.
Right.
Steelers, here we go. Pittsburgh's going to the Super Bowl. Here we go. J.J. Smith is dancing on fields. Team's emotionless. They got no feels.
By
the way, did you ever think you'd hear emotionless dropped into a... That was pretty good. I felt pretty good. That's probably what the show ends on right there. Yeah. Diggs, how do you feel, bub?
Not great. I mean, luckily I have to work with that kid every day, so I can't do too much, but...
Who, Fox?
Yeah.
Oh.
You want to kill him?
Yeah.
You want him to stop breathing?
Yeah.
What? You want him to kick the bucket?
What?
You want him to go into the barn? What? You don't breathe anymore?
What?
You don't bleed?
What?
You're a dead man?
What?
What's that mean?
Dumb boots.
Dumb gloves?
Dumb
Dumb bandana? I'll take your stupid bike. What? I'll drive that thing wherever the hell I want to. What? Just watch Stone Cold Steve Austin best of clips on YouTube. It is worth it. We did it the other day because he was coming on the show, and I have done it every day since then. It is a never-ending cycle of hilarity. Kurt Angle doesn't get enough credit for being hysterical as well. Mr. H, D-Generation X, and Vince McMahon, incredible appearances. Obviously, The Rock is in there. Oh, it's a greatest hit. It is it is play the hits, and it is never-ending. Oh, my God. Are you scared of him? What? Are you special?
What?
It's because that's stupid. All right, that's a show, bro. Fuck this shit. See you guys tomorrow. Enter for the Arby's Bricks. $500. Hashtag Arby's is great. Space, 4 numbers. Tweet it. There's over 8,000 entries, I believe, already. Let's keep that thing going. We appreciate you. We still have to figure out a 4th way to figure this whole thing out because the boys got distracted with immature bullshit.
That's true.
Mostly you, Zito, by the way.
What?
What's your poll say?
Are the Steelers dead? No. 14.7%. Yes. 85.3%. That's over 18,000 people said that.
Wow. Dead.
Dead.
Bull's been wrong before.
No, not recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, the Chargers-Raiders game, they were dead.
They got half right.
Oh, that's right, because the overtime over.
Suck it.
So 50%.
Yeah. I'll take
Zito's
those odds.
got confidence in his poll. Does Ben? We'll find out. Big thanks, AJ. That's the show. See you guys.
Thanks.